Well, hello. Howdy there, partner. How you
Howdy,
doing?
partner, and
How you doing, lady?
welcome to the Louisiana Hayride with the Muslim Cowboy. Hide your daughters. Yeah.
Yeah. How you doing, David?
How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good. I'm thinking in any moments while you're talking, so I don't have to pay attention, I can just work on page is totally blank now. I'm going to come up with some square dance lyrics to sing a little song about the Muslim Cowboy later in the show.
Well, ain't that fun? All right. So today we want to look at this fella calls himself a Muslim cowboy, and he's got some interest in little children. He likes little children a lot, it looks like. And we want to expose that Muslim fella, the Muslim cowboy fella, see
Hey.
what it's all about.
I'm just jotting down anything that rhymes right now. The first thing I came up with was, if that girl says she won't clean, beat her till her skin turns green. That's perfect. I think this is going to be a good square dance.
That's fantastic. That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
What are your predictions about this stream that we're having today?
We're watching a video. Is this because I know that the Muslim Cowboy posted a response to me because I linked to it. And the title was something like David Wood says accepts child marriage or some crap like that. So before he even posted it, just when it was what's it called when you
premiere?
Yeah. Set it up as a premiere so you can see it's coming. So I shared it without even seeing what the heck it was, just because I knew it wasn't going to be good. And then when I clicked on it, it was me and Anthony and Sheikh Uthman. So I don't know if that was the whole video or what, but I didn't watch any of it, so I have no idea what that's about. But Sir Whitemeat was saying that he posted a video that needs a response. I don't know if he was talking about that one, and that's the only one, or if he had posted multiple videos. I have not checked, sir, so I do not know what to expect here.
So what we're actually going to do is we're going to review a video from him that is about 6.5 minutes long, or almost 7 minutes long, where he's primarily going after you, but also mentioning me several times, and basically talking about how as a Muslim he's on the right path and we are all wrong, and things like that. And he's pretty insulting. And
what? Whoa!
So get your Quran ready.
Hang it. Yeah, I already have my hand on it. They don't call me Quick Draw McGraw for nothing, man. I am quick to start. And this, by the way, this is a problem with the new reverts. Just as they don't understand what the Quran actually says about child marriage. No, you don't have to wait for puberty. It specifically talks about marrying, banging, and divorcing girls all before they reach the age of puberty. And same thing with Aisha. She hadn't reached, even just as they don't know any of that, but they think they do because people cheer for them so much when they revert that they think, wow, I'm doing everything right. I'm crushing this thing, right? So they think they know what they're talking about. And then they gotta find out the hard way. So anyway, you get these new reverts and they think, hey, we could just keep tossing insults. They don't even know that according to their religion, they are not supposed to be starting insult battles with people who are going to insult their religion in return. Hey, Muslim Cowboy, when you get around to actually reading the Quran, check out Surah 6, verse 108. If you know ahead of time, these are guys who, if I start insulting them, are instantly going to start insulting my prophet and ripping up my book and so on. You're supposed to stop. You're supposed to stop with the insults. So because you may not have a problem with people insulting Islam, there are a lot of people in your community who are very sensitive to that sort of thing. And now your decisions are leading to behaviors that are very upsetting to your community. In other words, we don't just sit around ripping up Qurans. We don't. Someone does something. Someone does something. These are responses to your behaviors. So just keep that in mind. You'll learn.
Well, I gotta say, the Muslim Cowboy is about as dumb as they come. And
hey, check out this line. Since that girl has half a brain, make her clean your semen stains. It's gonna be good, man.
Yeah, I watched this video and the guy's is lying like a rug.
And
yeah, We gotta look at it. It's gonna be easy. It's gonna be like shooting fish in a barrel.
Oh, it's gonna be powerful. It's gonna be hot. This
Yeah.
video is gonna be hotter than two frogs humping in a frying pan. Yeah.
Well, what do you know? So let's have a look at that right now and see what comes from it. Let's see. His video is titled "David Wood Accepts Marriage to a 9-Year-Old."
I sure do. Good one. Really powerful Dawa. Gotta love this guy's Dawa. We love these guys, man. These guys are awesome. And it is such a guys, keep in mind, as disgusting as it is to see every new revert and every new Dai, every last one of them just comes right. So, hey, I reverted. You know what I want to start defending? Child marriage, banging little kids. That's what I want to start defending. As disgusting as it is, it's such a breath of fresh air compared to 10 or 12 years ago when they called us liars for saying that Islam teaches this. So it's a weird kind of progress where it gets what they're saying becomes sicker and more disgusting than it was 10 or 12 years ago, but it's more honest.
Oh yeah, it is. It is. Got that right. So why is he interacting with us to begin with? He is interacting with us to begin with because to begin with, we made certain tweet responses to him as he was arguing on Twitter or X that marrying little children is completely okay and completely acceptable because according to him, they are not children. And was one of the things that I actually posted here to make that, to demonstrate what we're talking about here. Here, this is a tweet from him. He says, "A woman is a woman when they hit puberty. Making a certain age a number is arbitrary and makes no sense." Now, this is very, very stupid, and it's no surprise that it comes out of him. The guy is pretty dumb, and he's basically saying as soon as they hit puberty, they magically become a woman, and they are ready to become a wife, become a mother, to become one of many wives, and as you can see, he's right here on a photo here, like looking at a little girl, and
in pretty
just
creepy fashion.
Just illustrate what actually is implied by the stupid and vile and messed up things that this guy says.
And we pointed out in our live stream where we went through his tweets defending child marriage that what he's saying, as soon as a girl hits puberty, not completes the process of puberty and grows into a woman. No, as soon as old enough to bleed, old enough to breed, that sort of mentality. We pointed out that pig farmers actually treat pigs better than these Dawa guys treat their wives and daughters. You could go to a pig breeding site. It will tell you just because your pig has started menstruating doesn't mean you should start breeding. You should let the pig continue developing. You should let the pig continue developing and growing and maturing before you start breeding them. So again, pig farmers treat pigs better than the Muslim cowboy would treat this little girl that he's macking on.
Well, you got that right. Wasn't there also a tweet where he said that he would
I just read that comment.
Yeah, that's very, very good. Didn't he also say that he would do everything that okay, here I got it.
Uh-huh.
Hold on a second. So here's a tweet by him. It says the disbelievers think we should be ashamed of some things in Islam. There's not a single thing our prophet did not do that I myself wouldn't do, or did that I myself wouldn't do. This is submission. This is the way. So he's saying there's not a single thing that my prophet did, clearly here in reference to child marriage, that I myself wouldn't do. By
the way, that doesn't make any sense because there are things that his prophet did that that the Muslim cowboy would not be allowed to do. Like Muhammad said, you guys can only have 4 wives, but I'm allowed to have more because I'm special. And so he married at least 9. We know he had at least 9 or 11 wives at one time. So the Muslim cowboy would say, well, I would do that too because Muhammad did it. even though that would get him in trouble with Allah. So notice the level of narcissism already. Like, I'm in a different category with Muhammad. I can do all of this stuff, some of which was only for Muhammad, according to Islam.
Alhamdulillah, that's beautifully said.
That's good, though. It's good he thinks he's that perfect, that important.
Powerful stuff. And another one is here where he says, "Yep, that's me."
He says, "You're darn tootin', it's me, a Muslim cowboy."
So this guy says, explain how having sex with a 9-year-old is okay by anthropology or biology or psychology. He says, yes, if she is a woman.
By
and anthropologically, women have become women at 9 all over the world. You really need to study, champ. And then he says, yep, it's me. We support our prophets. Marriage to Aisha at 9. No big deal. She was a woman through and through.
And so look, notice he says, anthropologically, women have become women at 9 all over the world. It's weird that women have become women. Well, okay, so they're already women, and then they became women at 9 all over the world. Now, guess what? No, they haven't. No, they haven't at all. He's defining woman as anyone who has reached puberty. That is insane and disgusting. Who agrees with that besides these guys? Oh, you reached puberty. So notice, following what he said. He said, as soon as a girl reaches puberty, this raises the entire problem that was brought up by Inspiring Philosophy in his debate with Daniel Hakikachu. There are cases of precocious puberty where an 11-month-old baby, because of a medical problem, goes into puberty at 11 months old. According to this guy, according to the Muslim Cowboy, 11 months olds are full-grown women. 11-month-old babies can be full-grown women.
Well, she's ready.
That's the level of intellectual integrity that you're dealing with these guys. An 11-month-old baby still babbling and breastfeeding is a fully grown woman, according to this guy. I'm not exaggerating here. That's how disgusting this is. And this is what they come up with as soon as they convert to Islam. This is what they want to defend.
If he's going to base this whole idea that women did become women, or girls did become women anthropologically at the age of 9, if he wants to base that idea on the fact that some people married little children in the past, like if that was the case, you could by that very same standard also argue that anthropologically people were enslaved. Anthropologically, people raped each other. Anthropologically, people massacred and annihilated each other. So anthropologically, it happened. And what's the deal? What's the problem with that now? What's the problem if I now want to rape somebody? Because anthropologically, it happened all over the world. That's how easy it is. That's how simple it is. But again, the entire argument completely falls flat. A girl is not ready and is not a woman just because she hit puberty. That's not how it works. By that very same standard, you could say that a person is fully developed once they start speaking or thinking. And I'm not sure if you actually think that you could vote for a little toddler and make them the president of the United States, for example. So don't be stupid. Don't be stupid, Muslim cowboy. All right, so this is who we're dealing with. This is a dangerous person.
Hey,
you are sick.
Yeah.
There aren't as many things that rhyme with goat as you'd think.
Float, boat.
Yeah, there's float, boat, coat, tote, vote, wrote, throat. Those are all the relevant ones.
Well, you could turn about into a Canadian thing and go like a boat. So stupid. Yeah, man. This guy is just.
This man has real problems.
But anyway, let's listen to the guy. Let's listen to his brilliant observation here and see what happens. So saddle up. It's gonna be.
Hold on tight to your saddle horse, son.
Because I mentioned, like Muhammad and Aisha. So if I said, I find that problematic or something like that, if you somehow showed that Islam is...
Does this sound good?
I don't know how good the sound is going to be because we're not mic'd up or anything.
Okay.
True. In my mind, the way I think, I would be like, okay, well, if this is from God and I've got a problem with that, then I'm the one with the problem. I'm the one with the problem.
All right.
And I need to believe God.
Well, I'll be damned.
Oh, was that the
See
clip?
that example? Yeah, that's the clip. He just showed the clip.
So we're pointing out it's the seriousness of how important the evidence for Islam would be. Because if I were to believe that Islam is true and came from God, then there would be a question of whether there's wiggle room on interpreting. And there is. You could be a Muslim and reject the sources that say that Muhammad had sex with a 9-year-old girl. You could say, I don't believe in those sources. So you could be a Quran only Muslim. You'd still be stuck with Surah 65, verse 4. But if you rejected the commentaries, because we point out the commentaries, Ibn Kathir and so on, and if you rejected all of the Asbab al-Nuzul, if you rejected the historical background on what these revelations are for, you could come up with another interpretation where it's a girl who hasn't menstruated because of some medical problem or something like that. Even if she's like 20 years old, she has a medical problem that keeps her from menstruating or something like that. You could in theory interpret it like that if you threw out everything in the Muslim sources. But if you didn't, then, and if you said, hey, this guy Muhammad is from God, he has God's stamp of approval, and everything he did that was not specifically condemned by Allah has God's stamp of approval, then I would have to say, well, if the medical world tells us this is a really bad idea, but God says it's okay, and at least in certain circumstances, I'd have to go with God. So what's the point there? You're going to need some seriously good evidence if you want me to rethink sex with children, think that's okay. So what's the takeaway? You guys had better have some good evidence for what you believe if we have to rethink even the basics of morality for this. And the question is, what is this great outstanding evidence that you have that would make us go, oh, well, no, too bad if the entire medical world and psychologists and everyone tells us that banging little girls is really, really bad. The Almighty has declared that it's actually okay. What evidence do you have that would make us rethink that? I'd still like to know, because all I've gotten for decades is the Quran's been perfectly preserved, even though it hasn't. That was a lie. Oh, there are all these scientific miracles in the Quran. No, that doesn't. That's a lie. They even admit these things were lies now. Right now, I don't even know what their arguments are anymore, because for every argument they give, there are Muslims saying, nope, that argument's garbage. That was all a lie. It was all a joke. Don't take it seriously. And what are they left with? It's Ali Dawah going, people going to convert because our intolerance.
Save it for later. He will bring up the clip again to make a
cool.
point
Okay.
About you.
He's copying you with his cowboy hat.
I know. It's ridiculous. I have some respect, man.
He's copying me with the books. He's copying you with the cowboy hat. This is.
I like sex with children because I'm a Muslim cowboy.
This day is actually a pretty amazing day for me. It's my 10-year anniversary of becoming a Muslim. The day I gave my
his what anniversary?
His 10-year anniversary.
Oh, I thought this guy. Whoa, that's bad. Then I was cutting him some slack because I thought he just like reverted. He's one of these guys who like reverted 10 months ago or a year ago or something like that. Okay, so if he converted 10 years ago, he's been a Muslim 10. You got no excuse. Oh, you're in a different category. I assumed you were a new convert, and that's why you didn't know that Aisha hadn't reached puberty and that the Quran does not require you reach puberty. So this is just weird. There was an excuse for his ignorance, and so we were kind of treating him with kids' gloves because we thought he was new. He's been a Muslim 10 years,
but he actually went to the Hajj with a cowboy hat. It's like the first person, probably the only person who actually wore a cowboy hat while he was, around the cow.
He was the only guy to show up with a guitar too. Yeah.
I wonder if he also had a horse with him. So I want to start by praising Allah, the Almighty, the one who created Jesus, created Moses, the one that they put their heads on the ground to and begged God to forgive them, to help them, to guide them. And that's what I did that day 10 years ago. So I want to thank you, Allah, for journey and for bringing me to the place where I can.
You're welcome.
Oh, this is interesting that he's talking. When I clicked on the video, saw it was that, I thought he was just sharing some clip. So okay, it's interesting.
Oh no, it's actually him talking. Yeah. No problem, Muslim Cowboy. It was a pleasure.
Stand behind my prophet. Every single thing that he did, because he.
Hey, I wouldn't want this guy standing behind me. Don't stand behind me. Don't stand behind any little girl. Don't stand behind a goat.
You will be fine. You're too old. If you were a little child, you would have to be worried.
Yeah, that's good. It's days like this. I'm glad I'm not a little girl somewhere on this guy's radar.
Yep.
Mercy to all of mankind. You know, I must say I am quite honored that David Peckerwood and Pussy.
Hey! Whoa! That was 2 insults, wasn't it? Was that 2?
That was 2.
That's 2 pages of the Quran, Muslim Cowboy. Notice this
actually,
your decisions. This was your decision, your behavior. You know how we act, and you choose to act in a way that is going to cause us to do this. That's your decision. Okay, you're gonna get a page. That was 2 insults.
Muslim Cowboy, there's one thing you actually need to know, which is that whenever you insult us, we will rip up a page of the Quran, and it'll be on you. That will be on you, fella.
I hope this don't remind you of a goat.
I'm quite honored that David Peckerwood and Pussy, along with that one uninspired philosophy guy, to
wait. That's 3 insults. That's 3. 3.
You're making us go through a lot of this Quran here. More Quran than you've ever gone through. Am I right?
This is actually the first guy who said the word. He actually said the word. He said the P word.
Ah,
that's interesting. I guess that's the difference of that. That's how you see that you're dealing with a cowboy. That's a cowboy. So it's going to be 1, 2, and 1 more for inspiring philosophy. Here, 3. All right. There we go. How about that?
hey,
Hope you like that, son.
hey, this
Hope you like that, son.
escalated quickly, man.
Wait.
Like, I don't even know where we're going to go from here. What's this dude doing this, man? I don't know.
Partner, you might want to be careful with those insults, right? You might want to be careful with them insults.
to talk about my statements defending my Prophet Muhammad. Where I come from, when you have a stance and you believe.
Hold on.
Talk about my statements defending my Prophet Muhammad. Where I come from.
Now, why did he not say?
Oh, it's going to hell.
What's your excuse, Muslim Cowboy? The Prophet Muhammad said, may he be humiliated who hears my name and doesn't say, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So what's your excuse, Muslim Cowboy? What's happening?
From when you have a stance and you believe in something, you stand behind it. This is just how we are. We respect people more when they stand up for what they believe in.
Hey, we're doing that, Cowboy. We're doing that. We're standing up for what we believe. We believe you're a little child marriage supporting pedophile.
Yeah. So respect us. If you truly respect us, if you truly respect people who stand behind what they believe, then maybe you should respect me, and you should respect David Wood here, whom you insulted shamelessly for believing and standing behind the belief that you and people like you who approve of pedophilia are sick.
Yeah.
Sick.
And we believe that if a bunch of guys are coming along telling us that they get to bang and diddle little kids, and then they start insulting, we believe that we have to stand up like men and eat whatever book is causing you to think like this. Yeehaw!
Well, we don't like them child diddlers here. And
we don't like them child diddlers around these parts. You hear?
You kind ain't welcome here.
Kind of wishy-washy about it. Even if they might be even more correct about something, we don't respect them. The issue is whether Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, is a prophet or not.
Wait.
The issue is whether Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, is a prophet.
Well, he actually said it. See?
There you go.
Save yourself.
Or not. Because if I can.
I was almost going to rip up another page just for Muhammad.
I was about to take that as an insult to Muhammad and like rip up an entire crowd.
prove that he is a prophet and that the Quran is from God Almighty.
This is so funny. How
Wait, is he actually going to give proof? I just suddenly became interested in this.
It's so funny how he shifts from the accents to like, yeah, and we are proof from the Quran. And we believe that this is from the Lord Almighty, because in the Quran it says,
then whatever God commanded him to do was good. And see, this is why I find it
what
God Almighty. Then whatever God commanded him to do was good. And see, this is why
that was weird.
I find it really funny.
So just like when Allah told him to go back to banging his sex slave after he swore an oath to Allah to stop having sex with his sex slave, it's good. I've concluded that it's good for a man to break his oath to his wives and go back to banging his sex slave. Yeehaw!
Well, that was quite a revelation right there.
Powerful revelation.
About the things that they say.
They got me all geared up to go out to the monster truck and tractor rally. Yeehaw!
Muhammad, peace be upon him, doing, even though he was completely immoral, the best of mankind, is that when you delve.
That's the reality of the situation.
How does he not understand the point, right? You guys are asking us to accept that a guy who, if you made a list of the worst things that people can possibly do, you made like a top 10 list of like the top 10 worst things a person can do. Muhammad did like 6 or 7 of them, right? So if you're saying, no, you have to conclude that everything he did is right, you're going to need some powerful evidence for that. And so in other words, it can't just be a dawah lie. It can't just be something that I'm supposed to mindlessly accept without investigating. That's the point. You're talking about something that requires completely reversing what we mean by ethics and morality. Why should we do that? Oh, because of the perfect preservation of the Quran. Lie. Because of the scientific miracles. Lie. No, we need an actual really, really, really good argument. I don't think you got one, Muslim cowboy. You want to prove me wrong on that? All right.
Muslim cowboy. So when we talk about morality, so Muhammad said that people who leave the religion should be killed. That's number 1. Number 2, he lied. It's number 2. If you want more information on that, sure, we can talk about it. Because as far as I've seen in the video, you actually don't provide any proof for the things you say anyway. Number three, he took multiple wives and made the excuse through Allah's revelation that only he can take a huge number of wives, and all the other Muslims, his followers, they may only take up to 4 wives. He lusted, according to the Quran, after his adopted son's wife, and which resulted in them divorcing and him marrying his adopted son's wife. Number 4, he took slaves. Number 5, he took sex slaves. Number 6, I don't know, there's just so much more. He married a little child. Which of course you won't accept, because here's the problem, Muslim cowboy. Most people, when they hear these things, they will say, wow, that's really, 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 really messed up what I'm hearing there. Mm-hmm. But to you will hear those things. You will realize that to most people, this is completely disgusting, but you have already shifted your perspective to everything Muhammad does is morally correct, and he's the most moral character. Therefore, it is impossible for you to accept that any of these things are actually problematic. And the whole world, the rest of the world, will look at you and what you say with disgust. That's the reality. That's the truth here. And they will look at you and they will say,
"You're sick. You're sick."
That's the problem here. You don't see it. You just don't see it. And we can prove to you that the science completely disagrees, reasonably so, that a girl that hits puberty is not a woman. So the science says definitely that is not the case. But you will not accept that. You will just pretend you didn't see that. You will just pretend you didn't understand that. And you will maintain your position that a little girl at the age of 9, once she hits puberty, becomes a woman, because that is your belief, which is deeply anchored in your head now, and you will not accept any other evidence to the contrary. And that's your problem, Muslim cowboy. And when you go out there and defend and justify pedophilia and say you would do it too, that's the problem, cowboy. That's the problem. That's why we are sitting here and destroying you. And it's quite easy to do that, to be honest.
And it's he's kind of proving our points and what we do on these channels, because you can take what I said in that Sheikh Uthman clip. You could take that a step further. And so there it's, hey, if you want us to accept Islam, which is going to have to force us to reinterpret all of morality, we need to know why we're supposed to believe in this stuff. And it's going to have to be some good stuff. You can also say, okay, here he's admitting that Muhammad did all this stuff that AP just pointed out. Muhammad did all this stuff. And if you convert to Islam, all of a sudden you're going to start defending this stuff like child marriage and killing apostates and so on. So notice, if we don't think you guys have any good reason for what you believe, and this is the results of your religion, we should really, really be opposing your religion, right? Because as far as we can tell, it's a bunch of horrible, horrible stuff about boning little girls and taking the wives of your own adopted sons and breaking your oaths and all kinds of things. It's all of that stuff that we don't want anything to do with. Killing apostate, we don't want that. And you guys start defending it over nothing, because you hear some stupid idiotic nonsense from some Dawa guy 10 years ago, and you go, oh yeah, well, I don't want to bother investigating what this guy said, so I'll just go with it. Okay, that's a problem. That's a problem for society, that there are people like you. So we're going to respond to you.
Yeah, how about Muslim cowboy, diddler cowboy? How about you go out there in Texas? You go out there in Texas and go to people and try to preach to them that it's all right to marry a little child. Say to them, hey, a 9-year-old girl, as soon as she hits puberty, she is a woman, and I would like to marry her. Go around and say that to people in Texas, see how they receive that.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll understand something.
Walk up into an good old, what do they call it? I was thinking about the Blues Brothers, where they said they walked into this country western bar, and they said, what kind of music you got here? And they go, oh, we got both kinds, country and western. And so yeah, you Muslim cowboy, you walk into a good old country western bar and you tell them you support child marriage here. See how that goes.
You mean a saloon? Yeah. Sandman says, AP and David Wood, you know it's going to be good. Jihadis who want a child bride, there's no place to hide. The Dawah guys cried, their arguments died. Well, that's a pretty good one right there, Sandman. Appreciate it.
And they really don't get it. They're all obsessed with like showing how base they are now. We're based. We're defending child marriage. And guys,
hold your horses.
They don't know. They don't know what they're doing.
Hold your horses. I want to read some super chats before we continue. Ari Wasserman said, boys like Muslim cowboy have a predisposed morality from Alan. From Alan, my good friend Alan. Which is why they know that starving to death is bad and touching chilling is good. I know, that's the problem. That's why we're here. That's why we're here. And we're doing this. Became my YouTube member. Thank you so much, and welcome to the club. Welcome to the club. Los ojos son las tiras de lanús. Yes, okay, I get what this is.
yeah, los ojos. Yeah.
Jeremy Mott said, "Time to eat Quran pages." Yeah,
way ahead of you, Jeremy.
Gonna eat them Quran pages, all right. All right. ES 1002 said, "Do you guys prefer brown or silver showers?" Boy, I prefer all them golden ones. Jesse said, "More Cowboys gunning for David Wood and AP looking for showdown at high noon." Yeah, ain't for a surprise here. Giddy up. A VGK fan 37 said, "Doing God's work. May Jesus bless you both." Oh, well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Appreciate it, fella. Earthman's Fake Blood said to settle the question raised yesterday, Mo used to balance D.L. Calby's balls on his nose. What?
That is why he was called the seal of the prophet. Because seals can balance a ball on their noses.
Oh, man. Didn't expect it at all.
Glad we got that mystery solved, though.
Thank you. Glad that's cleared up. We can continue. Jojo Momo said, AP, whom would you expect? Say the following. How can it be human trafficking if the parents consented?
I'd
That
go with
would be
Fareed.
if Andrew Tate was partnering with Fareed. That could work. Yeah. Ari Wasserman said, that's an even more disgusting phrase than Muslim cowboy. Muslim cowgirl. Oh, what's an even more? Muslim cowgirl.
That could be one of his possible potential nicknames. Since he's coming out with insults, since he's choosing to do insults.
Watch and said Muslim cowboy needs to be on trial on the ICJ. Well. B.Apologetics says, I've read that Israel passed a basic law in 2018 that says that only Jews have a right to self-determination. Is it true? May the great deceiver bless you. I don't think that's what it says. B.Apologetics. I don't think that's what it says at all. Pronad22 said, to our cult leader, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Enlarging the cult here. Rescue Life Inc. said it's okay if the farmer gives consent. Yeah, we're talking about ghosts here. And horses. Vinny the Pooh said she was 9 years old. Try that in a small town. Yeah, how about you try that, Muslim cowboy?
Yeah, I mean, think about it. I mean, in his reasoning, it would be perfectly okay to go up to a guy in Texas outside of school, guy's picking up his 9-year-old daughter. It would be perfectly acceptable for the Muslim cowboy to go up to a father and say, "Hey there. Your girl get a first period yet? Because I'd like to court her." That would be totally acceptable to the Muslim cowboy. Dude, I mean, seriously, this is amazing. I mean, it's not just that this guy has a disgusting view. It's that he has a disgusting view that he is propagating to a bunch of morons who don't know what puberty is and who don't know what the Quran says. And people take this seriously, and they're like breeding a generation of Muslims who are going to think it's okay to be banging 5 and 6 and 7 year old little girls, and we're the jerks for responding to them.
Yeah. You don't go around and say that to them Texan folks. You don't get dusted soon. Velvet Jizz said, prowling. Stop those perverts prowling. Children hide.
That was also in Blues Brothers. It's supposed to be prowling. Stop those perverts prowling. Children hide. All the things that I've been missing. Good vittles, loving, kissing. And I still got my 9-year-old by bride. Head 'em up, move 'em out, ride 'em in. Head 'em up, beat 'em up, move 'em in.
All right. There we go. There. By the way, the Cowboys were Palestinians. G. Benedicta. Wait a minute. Did I just skip that one super chat that I marked here? I'm going to read that one. Oh, no, okay. I read it. Okay. All right. G. Benedicta made a super chat. Welcome. Thank you so much. One more quickly to highlight here because it was a big one. 5 silver pesos made a super chat of $300.
Yeah!
$300. Appreciate that very much. Much obliged. It says the Republic of Texas does not claim him. Well, we'll see about that. We'll see about that once he goes around and tells the people of Texas that he wants to marry their children because they had their first puberty.
This guy needs to be on like warning signs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like warning signs. Don't let this guy around your daughter because you don't know what's going through his head.
Yeah. 5 silver pesos. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that contribution. I appreciate it a lot. Okay, let's continue.
People who were considered prophets, when you delve into their book and you look at their prophet, people who were considered prophets, who are said to have done horrendous things. I mean, Solomon, peace be upon him. God.
What a dope.
What an absolute moron.
What an absolute dope.
I hear stuff like this from Muslims, and when I hear this, like this is what he immediately starts with. Mm-hmm. When I hear this, it sounds to me like this guy has no idea about Christianity. He has no idea about the Bible.
Pretty standard among the I was a Christian. And then I found out that the book of the Council of Nicaea was taken out of the Bible.
Yeah. He literally just basically said the people in the Bible did bad things. Well, yeah, because the people in the Bible are part of a larger narrative. They don't have that same concept that you have in Islam, in the Quran, where everyone mentioned is a prophet and none of them makes any mistakes ever. No, that's not what's happening in the Bible. In the Bible, you are supposed to read and learn from them, and they serve as a moral purpose, a story. This guy doesn't know this.
Yeah, guys. So yeah, it's disturbing that he doesn't know. Like,
wow,
there's a completely different view of people in the Bible, even prophets in the Bible from prophets in the Quran. In Islam, there's a doctrine. It's called Ismat al-Anbiya. That's Allah's protection of the prophets. And at first, so for about the first 150 years of Islam, it meant that Allah would protect a true prophet from persisting in major sins. So a prophet could commit some sort of major sin, but Allah is going to send the angel Gabriel to step in and correct him, right? So this is when you get stuff like the satanic verses, that Muhammad could promote shirk and promote praying to multiple pagan goddesses. Don't forget that the Muslim Cowboy says he would do anything that Muhammad did. Okay, Muhammad told his followers to pray to pagan goddesses. But later on, the doctrine got modified by theologians so that it wasn't Allah will protect a true prophet from persisting in major error. It became Allah will protect a prophet from committing any sort of significant error. And once that became the view, and so they have to view Muhammad as anything that Muhammad did. It obviously can't be bad, but they think that all prophets are like that. And then they saddle us, no pun intended, Muslim Cowboy, they saddle us with that same view, and they think, oh, that's what they believe about prophet. No, we believe prophets are massive screw-ups. When God tells Jonah, go preach to those people, and Jonah says no and runs, we don't say, oh, therefore it's good to run away and disobey God. It's good to disobey God and tell God, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not preaching to those people over there. That's good because a prophet did it. We don't think like that. We think that God takes people who are sometimes massive screw-ups and uses them anyway. That's our view. So in other words, if you're saying, look, when our prophet does something, that's God's stamp of approval. Yeah, but we go to the Bible and these prophets got God's stamp of approval. No, they don't. They don't have God's stamp of. They'll have God's stamp of approval on the message that they were preaching that was from God. You don't have their God's stamp of approval on everything they did. That's ridiculous. And these guys over and over again are condemned in the, I don't know what he's about to say about Solomon, but Solomon was condemned repeatedly. He was condemned and punished in the Bible. So,
because in Islam, because in the Bible, we don't have that thing that you're talking about. Muslim Cowboy. You couldn't track an elephant in snow. You wouldn't know dung from wild honey. Muslim Cowboy. I'm looking up insults.
Yeah, I was just thinking, is he looking up redneck insults?
It had to come in the final revelation because people were making up stories about Solomon, and he defended him by saying barely it wasn't Solomon that disbelieved, because the Bible says that Solomon lusted after the daughters of Pharaoh and started worshiping their idols.
Yep.
And he became a disbeliever. He was no longer a believer in the Torah. So,
notice the assumption. No one could become a disbeliever. That would be impossible. So we're just going to go with our prophet. Well, Muslim Cowboy, you don't think that someone can actually become disbelievers, or that people can do mess up things? You don't believe that's in the realm of possibility? It's kind of weird because it's like they make idols out of human beings. They think, this guy got a message from God, therefore this guy is perfect. It's like but I mean, think of a because Quran only Muslims point this out with this kind of like idolatry of prophets in Islam. If a prophet is basically a mailman who delivers a message, imagine a mailman delivering you a message from, let's say, the president of the United States or something, and the mailman brings you the message and said, here's the message from the president of the United States, and you say, oh, the mailman brought me the message, therefore everything he does in his entire life is perfect, and everything this guy does in his entire life has the stamp of approval of God and the president. Like, what are you talking? Are you stupid? But that's anyway, that's what they think.
That's what I think. There is something that needs to be established, which is that in the Bible, it's not like the Quran, where the Quran just creates these fake stories. The Bible is talking about people that actually existed, and reports about people that existed as if they actually did exist. It's not a fantasy world that is creating. Solomon is is an actual person, is an actual king, is an actual ruler, and he makes many mistakes. He does things that a human does. Prophets are not gods. Prophets are not gods. When you look at the Muslim perspective on prophets, you could say that by Islamic logic, that Muslims take their prophets as lords besides Allah, because they consider them perfect. They consider them free of flaws. It's ridiculous. That's not how it is in the Bible.
Yeah, and just think about this, because in legal settings and historical settings and so on, people appeal to something called the principle of embarrassment, meaning that if you're writing something, or if you're making up a story, you tend to make up stories that help you and make you look better, rather than things that'll make you appear worse. It's like if I say, hey, if you're in court and you're accused of stealing some candy. So you're on the stand and you're accused of stealing some candy. And they say, sir, where were you when that candy came up missing? You say, I was over at the school selling crack to all those kids. You might actually beat that charge, because it could be like, okay, he wouldn't make something up like that. He's not going to make something up like that. So if this guy says, no, I wasn't there, I was over here selling crack to kids, he's probably telling the truth. So so a general rule, people make up things. If you're going to make something up, you make up something that helps your case rather than hurts your case. It's like when later Muslims made up stories about Muhammad performing miracles. That's exactly what the sort of thing, even though the Quran says Muhammad couldn't perform any miracles, that's exactly the sort of thing you would make up. You'd make up miracle stories. And it's why we tend to trust things like stories like the satanic verses. And so why would you make that up? If it weren't true, why would you make that sort of thing up? Now think about this, Muslim Cowboy. Because you're saying, look, the Bible says their prophets and kings did all these horrible things, whereas in the Quran it says, nope, they didn't do any of that. They were great, and they had God's stamp of approval, and they were always wonderful, and they didn't do anything wrong. Okay,
David,
which one of those is more likely to be made up? Like if you're Jews and you're recording the actions of your kings and prophets, why are you going to make up stories about them doing messed up things, right? It seems like you're just recording it, right? If you're recording them doing all these messed up things, it seems like, well, we've got to be honest here. If our prophets screwed up, then our prophets screwed up. We need a record of that as an example to other people. Look, guys, even the prophets can screw up. So you need to pay attention to what you're doing. And look, and here are cases where our prophets screwed up and our prophets repented. So take that as a lesson. So they keep that there. Whereas in Islam, it's just, nope, doesn't sound good. So let's just pretend it all never happened. Yeah, so in other words, it's the Islamic version of these stories sounds made up. The biblical version of the stories doesn't sound made up, because there was no reason to make up stories about these guys, their heroes doing really creepy, messed up stuff. They don't have a reason to fabricate these kinds of things. In Islam, there is a reason to fabricate things, because you have a distorted view of things. So sorry, sport, you've got some problems here.
This fella can't tell a skunk from a house cat. I heard this part. It's going to get worse.
Is it?
In just a little bit.
I don't believe that.
He makes the mistake that all the Muslims make because they're ignorant of how the Bible works.
This is a big deal, and their prophets in the Bible.
Did he just put big deal on the screen?
Yeah. But listen.
Okay.
This is a big deal, and their prophets in the Bible did horrendous, terrible things. They actually raped women. They actually slept with their own family members.
Where was this?
All right, Muslim Cowboy.
Like I'm glad I'm perfectly happy to say this prophet did this messed up thing. Where's a what is he? What? Yeah, let's see what he's.
I know what he's talking about. He's not going to clarify it. Muslim Cowboy.
Is he talking about Lot?
Would you please clarify which prophet actually raped people? Number one. Number two, would you please clarify which prophet slept with their own family members? Because the only person that I'm thinking of right now that is frequently mentioned in that context is Lot.
Yeah, they always say Lot.
Muslim Cowboy, I hate to break it to you, Lot is not a prophet.
And if he had any knowledge at all, he'd know Lot ain't a prophet. And guess what? Guess
if you
what?
had any knowledge of the Bible, you would know that Lot is not considered the prophet. It's considered the prophet in Islam because Islam is ignorant.
Yeah, and what's amazing is even if it were true, even if we're true that we regard Lot as a prophet, we would still you can do that. You can say this prophet did this and it was gross and wrong. It's like you guys are screwing up. It's like there are multiple levels of the stupidity. One, they think Lot's a prophet. Two, they think if Lot's a prophet, then he has God's stamp of approval for everything. No, he doesn't. None of that is true. What are you talking about? So notice, in addition to you guys defending child marriage, which is disturbing enough, also one of the things that happens when you revert and become a Dawa guy is you become completely incapable of understanding anything at all about how anything works, about how. And I don't know what to do with that, but it's a problem. If I say, hey, as the moment someone accepts that religion, this is how they start thinking.
This is the issue. This is why I think that this guy is a typical case of one of those converts who convert to Islam and then act like, oh, they figured it all out. They understood Christianity completely, and it obviously didn't make sense to them. And now they are part of Islam, and they can interpret everything from the Islamic perspective as if they knew what they are talking about. This guy obviously didn't know very much when he was a Christian. He obviously doesn't know much about the Bible. He obviously doesn't know much about the biblical narratives and the Abrahamic tradition and all of that. He doesn't know that that there are differences between who is and who is not considered a prophet in Islam and in Christianity or even Judaism. He doesn't understand that prophets are treated entirely differently. He thinks, I can't think of any other example. This guy obviously thinks that Lot was a prophet because that's how Muslims view it, because everyone who is mentioned in Islam is somehow a prophet, and that is what he's implying here. Plus, when he says that they actually raped people, I don't know what he's talking about there, but I'm sure he can clarify that. It looks like he knows a lot. He knows a lot, and he's a Muslim cowboy, and he will tell us everything we need to know, right? But this is it. I mean, I know that Lot is not considered a prophet in in the Bible. He doesn't know it. But hey, trust him. Trust the former Christian.
Yeah, and guys, think about this. Muslim cowboy. He doesn't know how the Bible works. He's completely ignorant of the Bible. And if he's saying that that Aisha had reached puberty and Islam is good and he's saying girls are women the moment they reach puberty. So the moment they get their first period or the moment they get pubic hairs, something like that, the moment any of that happens, then they're ready for these guys to start trying to breed with the girls, and doesn't understand biology. So notice, he doesn't understand biology, doesn't understand Islam, doesn't understand Christianity, doesn't understand the Bible, and yet puts his face out there as someone that everyone should listen to here.
Well, making yourself look pretty dumb, fella.
They actually did this and did that, and yet they want to come talking about the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, who we can prove is a prophet, yet.
All right.
What? Finally, we're getting into it. We're going to find out how we know this guy's a prophet. Yeah.
All right. Finally, we're going to see the proof here.
I've been waiting for this, but yeah. So notice, guys. It's but people in the Bible did bad things. Therefore, they're being inconsistent when they criticize Muhammad for doing bad things. No, because the claim is that Muhammad's things that he did that were bad aren't bad. We acknowledge the bad things that people did in the Bible. What you're saying that they're not bad because Muhammad did them. That's a completely different thing. If Muslims were claiming, let me go ahead and state it here. If the claim of Islam were Muhammad is massively screwed up. This guy is such a sick, twisted pervert that he banged a 9-year-old prepubescent girl. He took the wife of his own adopted son. He gets caught banging his slave girl in his wife's bed, and his wives get mad, and he swears an oath, and then he breaks the oath because he gets a revelation. If this were if the message were, yeah, Muhammad did all these things, look at how screwed up he is. The Quran condemns all these evil things that he did and rebukes him for doing these evil things. But nevertheless, God can even use this complete scumbag to deliver a revelation. If that were the status of Muhammad in Islam, I wouldn't be criticizing the things he did. I would say, yeah, the Quran's right. That guy's massively screwed up. I agree with that. So let's see if we can actually trust him as a prophet. But the horrible things that he did wouldn't be an issue for believing in him if it was acknowledged that these are horrible things according to the religion. That's not the case. That's not the case, Muslim Cowboy. It's he banged a little girl, therefore it's good. We can all bang us some little girls. Yeah.
You got that right, David. Got that right. Difference here is that Muhammad is considered the perfect messenger, the perfect example for all humankind to follow. And if you glorify that, I was going to blurt out something. If you're going to glorify that child molester, that child diddler, a rapist, a slaver, murderer, liar, then we have a problem. We have a problem, son, because in the Bible, people who are considered prophets or even other figures are not perfect moral characters. The Bible teaches you morals. The Bible teaches you morals. What the stories of those prophets you're talking about, you damn fool.
And look at this. This guy doesn't know anything about Christianity. But he claims that he leaves it and becomes a Muslim, and then all of a sudden, what? Starts banging little kids. Learn it here, folks. Don't leave Christianity for Islam. You're going to want to start banging little kids.
Yeah. That's true. That's true.
Yeah, again, guys, this isn't us claiming it. It's these guys claiming
it. Yep, that's right. Dakota Dog said Muslim goat boy would actually get drugged behind a horse by real cowboys as fast as you can say pedophile. I got suspended on X for flaming this type of evil individual. Well, you're doing a good job. It's a heroic act.
Isn't it amazing though that you can defend you can spend all day defending pedophilia on platforms, and if you expose them, you get in trouble.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I've seen this. Not even in the context of Islam, but it was an issue like a year or two ago where YouTube was blocking all these accounts of people, like just ending their accounts and so on, for people who are exposing other people who are using a platform to to groom children or grooming children. And then people are exposing, like, look what this guy's doing. He's using his Twitter platform to groom these kids and so on. And YouTube's banning these accounts. So anyway, so some sick stuff. But
that's some real sick stuff. Real sick stuff. And somebody needs to put an end to that. Ezekiel, Jalen said Ezekiel 16:6-8 shows the girl is fully developed before she's ready for love. Yeah, people brought that up before.
Yeah, it talks about her breasts being developed and yeah.
I'm not going to read that. FH said, David, I'm Muslim turned agnostic. I have Q's. DM. Yeah. David doesn't accept DMs.
Don't be sliding up into my DMs.
Don't be sliding up. Don't be perv.
Oh, David, you're so cute and manly. What the heck?
Yeah, that's all people people text to David all the time. Leave him alone. He's sick of this. Mr. Mag made super shekels and said, does he ever say children or girls? He just says women. Does he not understand female have to grow up? No, they don't have to grow up because they're ready as soon as the Muslim cowboy says they're ready.
Yeah, that's the problem with what's going on here. He says as soon as a girl hits puberty, she's a fully grown woman. And as IP pointed out in his debate with Daniel Hakikachu, there are cases where, because there's something called precocious puberty. That's where something's off balance and people hit puberty much earlier than normal girls. And there are cases where even an 11-month-old baby has hit puberty. What does the Muslim cowboy say? As soon as you hit puberty, you're a woman. You're a woman through and through. So according to the Muslim cowboy, an 11-month-old baby is a fully grown, mature woman capable of marriage and breeding.
We got it right here, David.
Of physical maturity, it becomes permissible for the husband in Islamic law to have marital relationships or consummate the relation with his bride. And this is the example of the Prophet, peace be upon him.
Do you know what precocious puberty is?
Starting puberty unusually early.
I have my PhD in precocious puberty.
You from a man marrying a 5-year-old that started precocious puberty?
You can
5-year-old
marriage even as an infant, but that doesn't mean that sex is allowed.
Could a man have a marriage to a 5-year-old consummated if she started precocious puberty?
If she starts showing signs of physical maturity, then yes, that's permissible. As I
What
said,
about age 4?
if there are signs
3.
So this is something that becomes biologically impossible because
I have a
puberty,
study
there are
that shows
no.
it goes as early as 11 months.
Well, that's something that the parents would not. See, the thing about Islamic marriage is that parents are involved at these ages, and when you look at,
You heard it right there. Another diddler here, together with the Muslim cowboy diddler, saying you can have sex with a little child as soon as she shows signs of maturity. The age of 4, age of 3, and even 11 months old, possibly. I don't know what to say. With them diddler folks.
He did none of the things that are accused of the prophets in the Old Testament, but rather he was the upholder of justice. He was the upholder of mercy. He was the upholder of justice, and he brought mercy to a...
He brought mercy. He brought mercy to that prepubescent little girl. Oh, yeah. He brought mercy all over her.
He was an upholder of justice. He was an upholder of mercy.
He was an upholder of...
He brought mercy.
He was an upholder of the garments on which semen was that Aisha had to scratch off constantly because he had, for some reason, a never-ending supply of semen all over his body.
I mean, listen, it's just with this mindset, Muhammad was perfect. He was perfect. He did nothing wrong. Muhammad did nothing wrong. With that mindset, you can just explain every single thing that Muhammad did as having a justifiable reason. Like Muhammad got rid of the 3 main Jewish tribes that existed in Medina. Of course, he found a reason for every single one of those and collectively punished them. Some of them he was he was given an inspiration, a revelation that they are plotting against him, and he used it as an excuse to fight them and to expel them. Others, because there was a disagreement and then a claim that they betrayed the Muslims during war, the entire tribe was executed, and their children and women were taken as slaves. Another was, again, because of a dispute, collectively punished. And he raped, he took slaves, he did all of these things. But hey,
and the Muslim cowboy says he would do anything that Muhammad did. Okay, Muhammad chopped the heads off of between 600 and 900 Jews. So the Muslim cowboy is saying, well, if Muhammad chopped the head off a bunch of Jews, I'll chop the head off a bunch of Jews. Yeehaw!
To be honest, I don't think that's a very good thing to bring up when you're talking to somebody like Muslim cowboy. He's probably getting excited just by that thought. He's like, Jews? Of course.
I don't know. I don't know what excites me more, killing Jews or banging
I love
girls.
to kill some Jews. That's probably one of the things. Swiss Apologetics said, AP, you're actually right. Hitler got many ideas from Islam, but he also got some wrong. Oh, wait, I'm supposed to read this in proper accent here. AP, you're actually right. Hitler got many ideas from Islam, but he also got some wrong. Example, as Al-Husseini pointed with his right arm toward a goat on a hill and said, Zieh geil, in broken German. Hitler thought, that's good, I will use that. Zieh geil means wait. The goat is hot or something like that, but it makes more sense in German when you read it. Oh, sexy goat.
Everything makes more sense in German.
That's pretty good. Pretty good. Call of Ghidorah said the 2 questions, AP. Would you consider Norman Finkelstein to be a credible source? Nope. Most of his peers do not consider him a credible source, which is why they completely shun him for repeating some incredibly ludicrous ideas about the Holocaust and the Holocaust narrative. And of course, he says they are shunning me because I speak so much truth and they cannot handle it. But the guy is just a complete lunatic. But he's cited always as the authority, although the vast majority of his peers completely disagree with him. For some reason, the anti-Jewish people take him as the good Jew and will bring him there and will say, "Look, this guy is a scholar and he agrees with us." Well, 95% disagrees. So what about that? No, I don't consider him good at all. Are you familiar with the poem of Havamal? Nope. Doesn't tell me nothing. Ansett Lee said, comparing Buddha, Jesus, and Momo. Guess who would give me anxiety when he says, "I love children"?
That is an important point. Like someone, if you somehow knew that someone has no intentions of being attracted to children, "I love children" is a lovely thing to say. If it comes from a guy who is sexually attracted, and that's the point of like you showing the picture, the photo of the Muslim cowboy talking to a little girl. If this were some guy we trusted around little girls, that would, it's just a guy being nice to a little girl. If it's a guy who's attracted to little girls, that's a completely different story.
Yeah. Salmon said AP doing Finkelstein is just his Peterson impression. I know. I only heard Finkelstein speak a few times, and they kind of, their voices sound a little bit similar, Jordan Peterson and his. So I guess I'm just going to the Jordan Peterson impression because I can't really do the Finkelstein.
I still can't believe I can't find Russell. What's his name? Russell what? Russell Brand's.
Russell Brand. Oh,
yeah, I can't. Yeah, but his impression of Jordan Peterson was absolutely hilarious. I don't know how I'm going to find it. Am I going to have to watch every interview the guy's ever done to figure out what interview I saw that in?
And I talk about Jordan Peterson quite a bit.
All right, it's like Jordan Peterson walking around. Oh, the lobster is going to go over here. The lobster. Oh, my goodness.
I personally talked to Jordan Peterson. I think he has some good points, yeah.
He had some great points about the imperialistic dogma that's being perpetrated in our society.
Ansett Lee said, oh yeah, I already read this. Shake It Off said, did you hear about the original Surah 65:4? It was eaten by a goat. As for those goats who have not yet menstruated, 3 months is their iddah. Oh, I didn't know that. That's interesting. That's a good knowledge. Yeah.
And guys, I have to point out, like completely seriously here. Most people are familiar with not necessarily the reference, but they've heard the story. So Sunan Ibn Majah, 1944. That's where Aisha says, hey, Muhammad died and everyone's focused on preparing his burial. And oopsie, a tame sheep came in and ate the verses about breastfeeding grown men and about stoning adulteresses. That's why those verses aren't in the Quran anymore. Oopsie, right? So lots of people are familiar with that story now because we've popularized it. But according to some of the later Muslim works that dealt with things that came up missing in the Quran, Ubay ibn Ka'b said those two verses, the verse of stoning and of breastfeeding adults, those were in Surah 33. According to Ubay ibn Ka'b, more than 200 verses were lost from Surah 33. More than 200 verses were lost from Surah 33. He said it was originally as long as Surah Al-Baqarah, which is the longest chapter in the Quran. Now it's one of the short ones. And so why? The point was Aisha's sheep didn't just eat those couple of verses. That sheep ate a ton of Surah 33. And what's amazing is Surah 33 is still the most disgusting chapter of the Quran. That's where you have Muhammad, Allah telling Muhammad that he has to bang his adopted son's wife. That's where you get that Allah has to abolish adoption because so Allah abolishes adoption in order to justify Muhammad taking the wife of his own adopted son. That's Surah 33:50. That's where Muhammad is told that he can break the 4-wife limit. There's all sorts of creepy stuff in Surah 33. And that's what was left after the ladies did their selective sheep editing. So the question is, what else was in that sick chapter?
The sheep ate my Quran verse.
Sheep ate my homework.
GL Benedictus said, my previous super chat left out the message. I bet it was the Jews. I bet so too. I agree. It's always the Jews. I sent contributions to the Muslim Cowboy song to AP via message on Twitter. Share with David. Super shekels are for music video. Oh, I'll check it out. I'll check it out in a second, in a little bit. Max Collaboraman said, Brokeback Mecca. Chloe L. Hey, Chloe, what's up? I mashed up.
Brokeback Mecca is too perfect. We need to do something, some sort of skit called Brokeback Mecca.
Yeah. I mashed up Dr. David's Muslim Cowboy song. Be sure to check it out. Your ears may bleed. I will check it out.
We might need that.
We might need that. We might need
to check that out.
Jeremy Mott said child diddlers will end up on the black top. Huh. Indeed. Indeed. Mary C said, me and my BF watch you every time you're live. I'm in the hospital alone, but watching this makes me feel at home and like he's right next to me. That's very nice. Very cute. Why are you at the hospital? Hope you are fine and everything is all right, Mary. 8 My Cereal says, thank you, Ridwan, for saving me from justifying pedophilia. Well, I'm happy to hear that. Arya Wasserman, this idiot would spend a whole hour trying to convince Chris Hansen that he didn't have no intentions of doing nothing with Jenna, since 13 is too old for him. Then he'd still get arrested. That sounds about right. That sounds about right. Uthman's Fake Blood said, after the Bible, the Quran is the next best-selling book. Is this because you two keep eating it and then buying a new one? Yep, that's precisely the reason why.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. That's right. I don't have a message here, dear whoever that was. I'm looking through my messages, but I can't see nothing here. Gotta see again. Gotta check again. Okay. All I see is death threats by pro-Palestine people. Emmanuel said, AP and David Wood. Dan Ginson points first century mosque after 632 AD. All facing to Petra, not Mecca. Later on, Abbasid changed it to Mecca. Also, the Quran. Any idea? I would say, with all respect to Dan Gibson, that I don't, on the surface, completely agree with their findings, and I don't think that it was actually possible for the Abbasids to change the direction or the mosque or even the place of the Kaaba from Petra to Mecca. There was already at that time too much dispute among the Muslims themselves for that to possibly happen. I don't think that's possible, with all due respect. And when it comes to mosques facing Petra, we have mosques possibly facing Jerusalem or being randomly placed at some point. To that, I can't say much, but the whole idea that until a certain point, the Kaaba was somewhere else or Mecca was somewhere else, like Petra, and was later relocated, it does not seem plausible to me at all. David, what do you say?
Yeah, no, I have mixed feelings. There is something wrong with the standard Muslim narrative.
Has holes.
I remember looking this up a while back. There are some disagreements, like when saying, this mosque faces this exact direction and so on. And there are other people who've gone and said, actually, that mosque doesn't face that direction. Or there's a lower level where a different mosque is facing a different direction and so on. And so they're not necessarily all facing this specific spot. But I also read from a scholar, and I don't know if he's right. That's kind of the point. But I know there's disagreement about this stuff. But I was reading one guy who's sort of the expert on how things worked back then. He pointed out they're not thinking in terms of such and such degrees east is where Mecca would be. That he's saying they're actually like looking at star formations and trying to align their mosques in certain directions based on star formations. And so in other words, they're not trying to make things face in a direction like we think.
Giving 5-hour responses to every super chat. I will never get through this.
Well, okay. I'm just giving my thoughts. I'm sorry. I'll just keep quiet.
Restricted to 5 words each.
You already read this, so why are you going to read everyone 10 times?
I'm so sorry. Knox said, if this guy owned a cattle ranch, I'd choose the cow.
Wait. Hang on. Hang on. That one actually, that's the start of a square dance. Go back to that one.
I can't. I marked those and then I unmarked those. It's gone.
What was it? It said something about cattle ranch.
Let me see. If they wait a minute, where's that? If this guy owned a cattle ranch, I would choose the cow.
Oh yeah. Say you got to focus on meter with the square dance. If he owned a cattle ranch, da 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 da. Right.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's good.
If he owns a cattle ranch, grab a goat and have a dance. You see what I'm saying? You can, any of this stuff works.
Yeah, jot it down right now. Jot it down. Bilbo back photo back and said, "Pedo cowboy, yeehaw."
Well, I'm the pedo cowboy playing my guitar.
I like little children. Near and very far. Bryce Rogers said, if the prophet Mo Yuli Luli lived in Texas, he would have been put through death row 15 times over. Well, that's true. That's true. White Lily said, my daughter 10 is a fan of you guys. I caught her on laptop listening to the stream on her laptop. I'm now scared because she knows things.
Yeah,
really?
That's messed up. Yeah, she knows about Mom, why are the eyes the leather strap of the anus? What's that mean?
Protect her from learning about the leather strap. David, careful with the leather strap. We have 10-year-olds watching. Okay, let's continue.
The upholder of mercy. He was the upholder of justice, and he brought mercy to a people who didn't deserve it. A people who used to bury their own daughter. Prophet Muhammad, peace and...
Oh God, same narrative over and over again. I mean, I can go to certain scholars who say that the whole narrative that the pre-Islamic Meccans were burying their babies or burying their little girls is extremely overblown and used as typical. I mean, this is even something that what's his name? I always forget the guy's name. One scholar that I had on my channel before of early Islamic history and pre-Islamic history even, he says that the whole narrative and the whole emphasis on the pagans burying their little girls is probably used in Islam the way it is often used in new cultures that demonize the past in order to justify their own, system that they bring. And that in reality, it was probably not that common for the pre-Islamic Meccans to do that, although it is undeniable that it was probably a thing. Killing your children or burying them alive or doing things like that, killing your girls was common in some of these cultures out of despair because they would be they don't have the means to survive. They think if we have a girl, we will not get any benefit out of this. She will only be a burden. She will suffer. We will suffer. Let's bury her. They actually did these things. It's pretty messed up. And yeah, maybe Islam came and said, this is evil. We shall not do this anymore. We shall only marry little girls and have sex with them. So in that regard, Islam definitely did bring some change.
There's also some inconsistencies in how some of this stuff is used in dawah. You can open a dawah Muslim apologetics book or something like that, and they won't see any inconsistency between on the one hand they'll massively exaggerate, and it was an epidemic of sending little girls off to their deaths, and they would just, everyone who had a little girl would throw her into the desert to die. And then you go to a later chapter and it will say, yes, so Muhammad allowed men to marry 4 wives, but that was just because there were so many more women than girls in Arab culture. It's like, wait a minute. If they're killing all the girls as infants, how are there so many girls? How are there so many girls in society that everyone needs to marry 4?
Yeah,
got some problems there. Pick one. Pick one. All the girls are dead, and so there are not enough girls to go around. Or there are so many girls going around that every guy can have 3 or 4.
Yeah. I'm thinking of Robert Hoyland as the scholar who had some opinions on there. Quite some opinions on there. Yeah. Yeah. Let's
and blessings be upon him. Had character like none other, and this is attested to by his own wives, his own family. If he had harmed anybody, if he was some kind of psychopath, then of a surety after he died, all of the people who were happy to be free of him, would they not have come out afterwards saying, well, you know what, he was actually like this? And look,
is this guy drunk? AP, because I mean, you don't even have to have a basic. You don't need an 80 IQ to see the problem with this.
Yeah.
If one of Muhammad's companions had come up after his death and said, "You know what? That guy's actually evil and should be condemned," what's going to happen to that person right there? Because this guy's saying that's what would have happened if someone knew something.
They're gonna get buried, gonna get dusted. Have you ever, Muslim Cowboy, have you ever heard of the Ridda Wars? Have you ever heard of the wars, the war of apostasy, or the wars of apostasy, which ensued immediately after the death of Muhammad? You know what happened as soon as Muhammad died? As soon as Muhammad died, people didn't care about burying him and remembering him and doing everything for his body and all that. The thing that they worried about immediately was to establish a succession after him. A fight broke out, and across Arabia, different Arab populations that were subdued by Muhammad started rebelling and going astray, some declaring themselves as new prophets. And Abu Bakr, the first caliph after Muhammad, declared war on all of those, to crack down on them, to bring them in line and to massacre them, to make sure that there is no dissent, there is no difference, there is no rebellion, no heresies, and so on. It didn't go over perfect. It wasn't like all of the Arabs were like, "Oh yeah, Muhammad died, but we shall never go astray. We will protect what he left for us and go with that." No, there was a strict rule of obedience by the new caliph. All those who show signs of heresy or dissent were persecuted, and this is attested in Islamic sources themselves. If you want to hear from the non-Muslims who are not part of the club, you can see right in the Quran that they repeatedly accused Muhammad of being a liar, of simply making up stories that he, or simply repeating stories that he heard from others, repeating ancient stories, being crazy, being insane, and so on. We also see in the earliest biographies that Muhammad had people killed for mocking him, and so on. So, what are you smoking, Muslim Cowboy? What's the problem here? Plus, let's grant that Muhammad was actually a good guy and he didn't do any bad things. Right? I'm sorry, but he did establish a system of slavery, including sex slavery, which he never intended to abolish or loosen. He did marry a little child, and you can tell me that people in that time possibly accepted that as normal. And although that is contentious, I could grant you that. But the problem with everything that we're talking about here, the problem is that Muhammad is considered a perfect moral character for all times, and we simply can't have that. That's the problem here, Muslim Cowboy. Muslim Cowboy, don't distract from the fact that Muhammad is a child molesting, rapist, murderer. We got to talk about that, Muslim Cowboy. Hey, Eli made a super chat of $200.
Nice.
$200, and contributed to this channel and made sure that we can do amazing things in the future with this. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Eli. I always appreciate it. He said, "Love you both. I love you too." Indeed, I do. Jesse said, "Did this maroon goat roper just insult the most respected atheist prophet?" He did. He did.
Yeah, and he was rebuked accordingly by Quran desecration, which, since he knew he would do that, he obviously wanted.
MDD Ridic said, "Apostate Prophet, please do not distract the Prophet Muhammad. The Prophet Muhammad was a child molester, rapist, murderer, and an ignorant son."
He was a total pervert dope.
Yeah.
Most
totally.
obvious false prophet in history. Hope that helped.
What an idiot.
Now,
Jesse said,
leave a super chat if you want to talk to us like that.
Yeah. Seed of Iblis said, "Red Dead Ramadan." I was actually earlier in the day. I was playing the game Red Dead Redemption 2 to get into the mood of being a cowboy. That's a very famous cowboy game, Dave. Alex Eubank said he would have to have balls to tell that to them Texans. You got that right. Sarah Al-Aqsa TV said, I'm late, so let me guess what happened so far. AP was late. Dawa Dude said toddlers were fully mature. Leather strap quotes, maybe a prison story. Everything completely right except the prison story. We haven't had that yet. Not yet. So yeah, that's pretty surprising, I'm sure. Ibij says, hi, David and AP. What happened to Hartoon? She's fine. Arya Wasserman said, Muhammad, be a good little Muslim cowgirl and flesh the belly goat. Arya, I love you. ES 1002 said, Ya Allah, Diya, oh yes, Diya, give me the silver. He just said, did Aisha reach puberty when they consummated?
No.
According to the sources, no.
Yeah, and according to the sources, she hadn't reached puberty for another several years. Like she reached puberty somewhere in the ballpark of 14 to 15 years old.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. Waming Young said, AP, please read this in your cowboy accent. Can't be a cowboy when you ride a camel. Yeah. I can't do that. I can't do that. Yeah.
Can't be a cowboy when you ride a camel. Yee!
Oh, interesting. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. See, David did it for me. Sarah Alexa TV said, funny how the granny went to church. Old Muslim cowboy was better because he wasn't a pedo advocate. Hillbilly cultural Christian educated propagandist. Exactly right. AF Iron said, how to update? She's fine. Is it possible something bad happened and it was covered up because they didn't want the David Wood Islamic Armageddon he warned about? No, she's fine. David, do you agree that she's fine? Do you confirm that she's fine?
Yeah.
See, David confirms that she's fine.
And I confirm that she wants people to not be asking stuff about her. Yeah. No matter how many times we make that clear. Tell us more. Gotta know. Atun says it's none of our business to leave her alone. So make her talk.
Yeah.
People,
and finally, Knox said, David Wood had no business making me bust out laughing at selling crack to kids.
Selling crack to kids is no laughing matter, folks. You heard it here.
Ari Wasserman said, Alan, Muslim cowgirls with beards are sexy. They remind me of the Bill Goats roof. Ari, thank you. All right, let's continue. And we'll get back to the super chats in a little bit.
We have this today all over the place. When people get locked up, they die, comes out, all of the stuff they used to do, all of this, their dirty laundry gets aired. Yet after he died, peace and blessings be upon him, what do we see? We see people talking nothing but the best praise about the best of mankind.
You know what's funny?
There's all kinds of things funny about what he just said.
Muslim Cowboy, I recommend a book to you. Very short book. Very short book. Since you're interested in Islam, oh look, I have actually I have coffee stains on this one. No disrespect intended.
It's better than the stains that were on Muhammad's garments.
It says Introduction to Hadith Studies.
Muhammad had Diya stains on.
Yeah. It's called Introduction to Hadith Studies. It's written by a Muslim. Don't be scared. Written by a Muslim, Furhan Zubairi. It's called Introduction to Hadith Studies. If you read this book, and it's not a very thick book, it's quite reasonable to read. You probably don't read much as it looks because you don't even understand your previous religion. But read this book if you want to understand Hadith studies. Because one thing that you will learn about Hadith studies, dear Muslim cowboy, one thing you learn about Hadith studies is that it was a requirement for the Hadith it was a requirement for the narrators of hadiths to be of upright character and to be Muslims in order for their narrations to be accepted and to be written down and to be considered, to be even taken into consideration before we argue about whether they are authentic or not. So the people who narrated things about Muhammad had to be Muslims and had to be of upright character. That was a requirement. So if you have people back in the day after Muhammad's time who really hate Muhammad, who really dislike him, and who are really against him, their words would probably not have made it into the hadith collections and would probably not go through the process of being authenticated. This is the problem with the hadiths. If you have if hadith studies is based on this bias of only trusting the believers who are of upright character, then you can't get much good out of that, because there is already an inherent bias at the very beginning of it. So it's no wonder that you will read only good things about him according to your Islamic perspective.
Yeah, so I will name 3 problems here. So one, already mentioned it, that no, doesn't work like you think, Muslim Cowboy. Someone comes out in the Muslim community and says, "Hey, I got some dirt on Muhammad. Let me tell you what a scumbag that guy was." He's going to get killed. They're going to kill him, because you're not allowed to make fun. It's a death penalty. Making fun of Muhammad, criticizing Muhammad is a death penalty. It wouldn't be allowed. So acting like, oh yeah, anytime someone dies, everyone shares all the dirt on them. Yeehaw! Not when you're going to get your head chopped off for it. So that's one. 2, AP pointed it out. They're only allowing certain kinds of information to get in. You don't have writings from Muhammad's. You don't have writings from Muhammad's critics. And the Muslim sources, they eventually became obsessed with weeding out negative information. You have this. So we know that Muhammad delivered what are called the satanic verses. I have 50 Muslim sources on giving various accounts of the satanic verses. These get traced back to very early in Islam. You don't have them in later sources. Why? We actually know. So Ibn Ishaq recorded the satanic verses. People like Tabari recorded it from Ibn Ishaq. He's like, I got this from Ibn Ishaq. We don't actually have Ibn Ishaq's actual book. We have an edited version from Ibn Hisham, and the satanic verses story isn't in there. Why? He actually tells us. He says, I removed embarrassing material from the accounts of Muhammad, so because this would have been offensive to people. So they're actively removing embarrassing information. You're saying, why isn't there more embarrassing information? So notice, those are 2 things. The third thing is, think about what you actually have in your sources. This guy's banging little kids. This guy's, he proposes marriage to a baby at one point. He proposes marriage to a baby. This is a guy who takes the wife of his own adopted son after causing the divorce by lusting after. This is the stuff you read. I mean, Aisha saying, and every time he goes to the mosque, he's just covered in semen, so I have to try and scratch it off because it's disgusting. These are the kinds of things you read about after they've taken out the embarrassing stuff. So how in the name of common sense are you getting, it's just read about him. He's so great. He's so great. And what are you talking about? We read about the guy, and we understand that when we're reading Sahih al-Bukhari, we are reading information that was filtered for centuries to weed out the worst stuff about him. And we still are absolutely repulsed by how disgusting this person was. And you're saying, well, he's so obviously wonderful that he must be a true. What the heck is this guy talking about, man?
What are you talking about, man? What are you talking about, sir?
Muslim Cowboy.
Oh, Muslim Cowboy, you got a problem. You got a big problem. You don't know what you're talking about.
He taught that Allah is gentle, right? And he loves people who are gentle.
He was gentle when he was chopping the heads off of those 600 to 900 Jews. He was gentle when he told his followers to beat their wives into submission. He was gentle when he said, anyone who leaves this Islamic religion, kill him. He was so gentle when he called for the violent subjugation of the entire world. He was gentle when he had that woman tied up to those camels and had them run in different directions to rip her body apart. He was gentle when he pulled those legs apart of that prepubescent 9-year-old girl and banged her, and then taught his followers to do the same. He was gentle in all this stuff. He's so gentle, a gentle lover. A gentle prophet. He was a gentle man. What a gentleman. He's a good Southern gentleman.
Ladies and gentlemen,
he loves gentleness.
Whosoever is kind to the animals, this is a good deed.
Especially to the dogs.
And the goats. Goat, pretty little goat.
The environment, this is a good deed. He said, the best of you is the best to your wives. And he said, I am the best to my wife. He is somebody.
Well, Muslim Cowboy. Let me tell you something here. I could be a complete bastard, a dirty, dirty bastard, and I could beat my wife black and blue every day, and I would say, you know what, folks? I'm the best to my wife, and I want you guys to be the best to your wives as well. Because you know what's best depends on my definition of best. According to Muhammad's definition of best, it's all right to beat your wife if she doesn't listen to you. It's all right to rape your wife if she doesn't want to have sex with you. It's all right to have sex with a little girl. That's the problem, Muslim cowboy. You don't get it. You don't understand it. You got hate in your brain.
Somebody who every single person looked up to. And if you look up to him, then you will live
every single person except those who had to die. Okay.
A noble and a fulfilled life, rather than looking up to people like David Woodpecker, the crossdresser, and Apostate.
Hey!
The unstable man.
Hold up.
Wait. Let's just know what he says.
Okay. Let's count. We got to count up the insults.
Look up to him, then you will live a noble and a fulfilled life, rather than looking up to people like David Woodpecker, the crossdresser, and Apus, the unstable sad man, who can't seem to get over the fact that he was once a Muslim and it consumes his life. David Wood, correct me if I'm wrong.
Hold on. You're counting that as 6. I'm counting that as 4. So you're going with 6. I'm going with 4.
No, I was just being very.
You're being pretty liberal. I'm being pretty strict. I'm being pretty strict on what I count as insults. Why do they always say crossdresser and leave out the fact that I was specifically making fun of Muhammad in that video? You have all these sources about Muhammad being in Aisha's garments, prancing around in his child bride's nightie. And I make a video trying to show, guys, if I were to put on my wife's garment, you would instantly think I'm nuts and use that as a criticism against me. But when your prophet does it, it's automatically fine. He's illustrating the point. But anyway, I counted 4.
But hold on. Who in the world actually thinks woodpecker is an insult? I don't even understand how he puts these two insults together. He calls me a pussy, and then he calls you woodpecker.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because he's very respectful toward you, David.
Yeah, no, I've been hearing woodpecker my entire life, but I'm just taking that as an insult because that's a 4-page Quran penalty there, Muslim cowboy.
1, 2.
We weren't going to do this. It's your behavior. Maybe we'll have this goat eat this page.
I'm gonna wipe my butt with this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna pick up dog poop with this. I'm gonna wipe my butt with this. I'm gonna pee on it. I'm fixing to do all those things. Muslim cowboy, you don't know what you're dealing with. You a damn fool. Yes. Okay.
Wrong, but did you not say that if Muhammad was a prophet, then anything that he was commanded, you'd have to be behind it? So the issue isn't whether Aisha was 9 when he consummated his marriage with her, but it's whether Muhammad is a prophet. Peace and blessings be upon him.
Because I mentioned, like Muhammad and Aisha. So if I said, I find that problematic or something like that, if you somehow showed that Islam is true, in my mind, the way I think, I would be like, okay, well, if this is from God and I've got a problem with that, then I'm the one with the problem. I'm the one with the problem.
All right. David, you're the one with the problem. You have problems, David. Why don't you just accept the fact that you have problems, David?
And I need to believe God.
I find it quite intriguing that you're coming after
I find it quite intriguing.
me now about this issue, seeing that you yourself finally came to the conclusion that, look, if God in the Bible says to kill a bunch of people,
not what I said.
God says it, you have to agree that God condoned it and it's from God, right? Maybe he says this at a certain time for a certain reason, but you agreed to it. And now you're going to come and kind of muddy the waters, use a lot of emotional appeal to try to get your followers to come after me and call me all kinds of names. But look, it's not going to work.
Wait, he's complaining about name calling? That dude's complaining about name calling? Hey, so just to recap, Muslim Cowboy, because you still don't understand. When we're talking about if we said prophet so and so in the Bible, had sex with a 9-year-old girl, we would not say that was okay. Fortunately, we don't have that. But if you did have that, we would not say it's okay. We'd say that prophet was either wrong, because prophets did things that are like clearly wrong, even wrong according to them. But also, there can be situations where we could say it's wrong and they just didn't know at the time, right? You can have situations like that. That's not what we're talking about. If I were to accept Islam, I have to accept Muhammad as this ultimate standard of conduct, and I have to accept that all this stuff is good. So if I had to accept your prophet, yeah, I have to become like you. That's horrifying to me. So I have to know what is the good evidence you have to show that this is somehow from God. And whenever Muslims give me the evidence, it's always something stupid. It's not even like, here's our argument, and you can kind of see what we're going after, but maybe you disagree. It's almost always just a flat out lie. It's almost always just a complete lie. And so, wait a minute, we have pedophilia, and if you convert to our religion, you have to accept pedophilia, and the justification for accepting our religion is a bunch of lies. So it's a bunch of perversion justified by lies. That's what I see in your religion. Perversion, disgusting things, horribly violent stuff, all justified by dawah lies. And we ask, is there anything better? And we get you. That's the problem, dude. And we're trying to make you understand it.
You a damn fool. You're a fool. You are a complete fool. Somebody said earlier, Carfer said these are pros. Kids, don't try this at home. Exactly. I would want to add a disclaimer, a warning to that as well. Don't try this at home. Don't try this at home. This is very serious stuff. You don't want to do this at home. I pity the fool, said Rubens Lee. Let's see. Hector said a Muslim pedophile cowboy is terrifying, not just for children, but all the farm animals he has access to. I know. That's the problem.
Yeah, you hear those? You hear over at Muslim Cowboy Farm, all you hear is...
Sanke said David Wood uncovered Corinthian hair. Christian. AP, same hat as America's number 2 child sex advocate. Atheist. Draw your own conclusion.
No, it's different because AC's got an American flag on that. That cleanses it.
Yeah,
that cleanses it of all connections to the Muslim Cowboys pedophilia.
That's right. That's right. I agree with that. Ayatollah Khamenei said Muslim cowboy and biblical prophets married their own family members. Pakistan, hold my chromosomes. Hold my chromosomes. Ryan Gosling said, boy, couldn't track a bandwagon through a bog hole. Yeah, I saw that earlier in one of those insults on the websites. Sankey said Muslims Bible.
Hey, don't talk about bog holes around that dude.
I know. It's dangerous, man. Muslims, Bible prophets rape people. Christianity is clearly wrong. Also, Muslims follow Muhammad. Ario, someone said a Turk with a German accent. Well, yeah, I gotta say, the Muslim cowboy is about as dumb as they come. I know, it's pretty fantastic, right? It's pretty fantastic. I don't even know how I sound right now. I wonder if there's a little bit of Hitler touch in my cowboy speech. Landon Lowe said disciples deny Jesus at points, so should Exians. Exians. What should Exians do? Huh. Yeah. James Wilson said this Red Dead Redemption 2 DLC is really weird. It is indeed. David, DLC means downloadable content. And
that's funny because I was wondering what the heck a DLC is as soon as you said it.
Oh, yeah, it's called downloadable content, and it's usually used for expansions for video games. So the joke here is that this is an extension of that game. See, yeah. I have to explain it to the boomers here. Mr. Rock said also, didn't Lot's daughters deliberately get him drunk so they can sleep with him? The man is a victim. Yeah, that's right. That is exactly right. What happened to the narrative.
All right. Just since we know Muslim Cowboys watching right now, let me break down. Let me break down the story a little more. So the takeaway message is Lot. When Lot and Abraham are deciding where to go, Lot decides he's going to go. He's going to go live in Sodom, and the idea is, if you got an area where you have a bunch of horrible people doing horrible stuff, probably don't roll up in there as a good place to raise a family. So anyway, Sodom and Gomorrah get destroyed. Lot and his 2 daughters go up and hide in a cave. They actually think that the entire world has been destroyed, right? Because they don't know that just a couple cities have been destroyed. They think God has wiped out the entire world while they were hiding in a cave. They think the world has been judged. So the daughters think we have to start up the human race again because it's all on us. Our dad's not going to go along with it. So we have to for the future of humanity. So they get him drunk, have sex with him. And what tribes come out of that? Their descendants become the Moabites and the Ammonites. And so those are the enemies of the Jews. So the criticism is, hey, you tribes, you Ammonites and Moabites, you're actually the offspring of an incestuous relationship of a guy who made really bad decisions. That's the takeaway. Is not this is a good thing to do and it's okay to bang your daughter. It's not. No, I've never heard anyone except Muslims say that is the implication there, because we would actually all read the passage and try to understand what's actually being said.
Muslim Cowboy, you got that? You understand? You understand what's going on there? Maybe learn something. Yeshua the King said, does AP consume cannabis? If so, what method? I used to in the past. I do not.
Make the brownies.
Longer. I do not anymore. I actually had some issues with that.
Seems like it would. What would that do to an anxiety issue? It's because on the one hand, it seems like it can make it worse. On the other hand, it can make you more mellow. But I would say it would like mess you up, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's for some people, especially people with anxiety, it may increase anxiety and cause different problems. And there's even a thing called cannabis-induced anxiety, which is a longer-lasting form of anxiety. I didn't know that before, but yeah, I did that. And but I used to smoke it, and also I used to bake my own
brownies,
brownies, and things like that. Yeah. Yeah. That was pretty nice.
Now we know why he left Islam.
Hector said, is there any person in the Bible who was more immoral than Muhammad? Where does Muhammad rank among the most immoral figures in all history? Oh, that's a very difficult judgment to make here.
Yeah, Muhammad would be on a list of people who did horrible things. He'd be pretty high up there if he hadn't influenced other people. But given that he also influenced other people to think that these things are okay, I don't know. He might be the GOAT. Don't get turned on, Muslim Cowboy.
Yeah. Mr. K said, yet again, Chloe L has a hit song. This time it's the Woody, Flirting with the Moose Cow Pat, produced directly from the Mars prison colony.
No. Penal colony.
Chris Spinelli said, Muslim Cowboy, 9-year-old bride, old enough to ride. Audio on Mercy, Franco-Arabic for jizya. Yeah, indeed. Jill's Bean said he should stay away from real cowboys. Being hogtied isn't fun. I oppose violence, but we have gangsters and we can't control our gangsters. Yep. That's what Mohammed Hijab would say. Oh, yes, somebody sent me a link. I think that was Elle, actually. She made me aware of the fact that Mohammed Hijab actually mentioned us in a video recently. Do you want to check it out quickly? It's very brief.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was going to say if it was long, then we could cover it on my channel tomorrow. But yeah, if it's short.
No, it was just a very brief comments here that I think you would find funny.
Okay.
Let's see here.
I anticipate hypocrisy.
We have to briefly switch to Mohammed Hijab here.
Yeah, as soon as
To briefly switch to Mohammed Hijab here. But Mr. K became a YouTube member. Welcome to the cult. My wife gave memberships to 5 people. Thank you so much, my wife, and welcome to all those new cult members. Apollos Christian Apologetics said 10 years reading this proudly. Al-Adab al-Mufrad 963. David can look it up maybe while I'm beginning to play this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, play.
You ready, yeah? One more, last one. Okay. Then Nahum, who? 7777 says, Hijab.
The guy can't even read the username properly. He just did 5 7s.
Got cooked and starts acting like a little child.
Hey, this is the guy who actually fed Ali Dawah the grapes.
Yeah, this is the grape feeder.
That's the grape feeder.
Child.
Dude, can you imagine that? Like I had there are certain things where you could do something for someone that you normally wouldn't do for some like I've mentioned before. Nabil had me shave his back on his wedding day because he didn't want his wife to see how disgustingly hairy he was, and I was like, he's like, hey man, can you shave my back? I got some clippers, and I'm like, no, I'm not shaving your freaking back. What the heck's wrong with you? He's like, come on man, I'm gonna be married. You're gonna see how hairy I am. It's disgusting. It's like okay, this is what friendship with this guy is, right? But anyway, it's reluctant. I mean, like feeding grapes to a dude. Hey, yo, because I was gonna be having this. I want you over here being the real man and being like the hoodie that hands me grapes in paradise, yeah? And you're like, okay, well, I'm Smiles to Jenna. Here, I'll feed you grapes. What the heck, man? So notice it's not like okay, I have to do this because we're friends and it's a really special day for you. It's just, oh, you want me to feed you grapes? What else you want me to do for you, Ollie? Whatever. I'm down for anything. What the heck, man?
Yeah. So this is the guy who's pretty dumb, and he feeds grapes to people.
Grape feeder.
Sure. I don't even know what he's talking about.
I think he's talking about the David Wood one.
What?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why?
Let me tell you something.
Tell us something.
And this is something they can put in the hijab museum.
Mm.
Yes?
Don't get out of line.
David Wood has engaged with many people. You ask David Wood, what was your most memorable moment? There's no doubt he's going to mention
The hammering his father.
They think that's
he's gonna
funny.
mention the champ.
They think that's funny.
Oh.
David?
Yeah.
Do you want to respond to this by quickly doing something here?
No. Let's see where they go with this.
Okay, I'm going to quickly respond.
You got to hear people out before you assess their penalties.
No.
Before you assess their penalties.
Okay.
Oh.
Piers Morgan has engaged with many people. I'm not going to say the most memorable
Mm.
moment. But you ask that boy,
Yo, why you stuttering?
was one of your most memorable moments? He's going to mention the champ.
That's what he's saying.
He referred to Piers Morgan as the boy, and he says one of the most memorable people that he will mention if you ask him is the champ. And by the champ, of course, he's referring to himself. This is what
That's nice.
man. The champ.
You know what? There's a degree of truth in what he's saying as far as his impact, but it's not like he's thinking like, aha, I crushed these guys. And what you do is you change our perspective of Muslims all the way up until that. I can't say just that event. It's sort of like that general time period. There's a couple year time period where in my head for many years, because early on I'm interacting with like Nabil when he's a Muslim, and I had Muslim friends along the way, interacting with Muslim friends and their families and so on. And I see all this stuff in the Muslim sources, and I was like, okay, but most Muslims don't know about this stuff, and most Muslims aren't doing this stuff, and therefore I don't have a problem with most Muslims. I have a problem I want to show them what's in their sources so that they can make an informed decision. But I don't have any special desire to be offensive in any of this stuff. Yeah. Once I got to hijab, and then I see what happens afterwards, and it's like, wait a minute, here's a guy who I'm forced to agree to all these conditions to have the debate. Then he violates all the conditions. They cheer for him as he's breaking everything he agreed to, and they just don't care, and they run their mouth. It changed my perspective, and it's like, this is more normal than I'm aware of. This behavior is more normal, and these are people who will rally around absolute deception and absolute lying, and they love it. It changed my perspective to where, and then with all this stuff, and I'm going after your wives, and golden showers, and seeing people celebrate this. Keep in mind, see, before this, when I'm thinking of Dawah guys, I'm thinking of like Shabir Ali. Very, very obviously don't agree with his claims, but very nice, very respectful. The Muslims you interact with when you're at, at an event with someone like Shabir Ali, very, very respectful Muslims and so on. So that's the impression you're getting, and you're modifying your behavior to align with the idea that, hey, these are people that I want to get along with, and I can get along with, and they can get along with me. Even if I'm being critical, they understand, okay, I don't believe in them. And lots of them say, oh, okay, it's okay to, it's okay to criticize. Just, don't be deliberately mocking and so on. I would do it in certain cases, like islamicize me, but I mean, that's geared towards certain events. I mean, this is islamicize me is about a couple of guys who convert to Islam and decide to go like murdering people at a cartoon contest. I make fun of that sort of thing, but I'm not just making, I didn't have a problem with Muslims in general. After Muhammad hijab, I just started thinking more and more like, why am I being nice with this stuff? Why all these guys defending child marriage and all this? Why am I being nice about this stuff? Wait, now, and when he says, I'm going to go after their wives instead, and then I see all his fans rallying around him and very few people calling him out. It's like, wait a minute, if most people were calling him out, then I would still say, okay, it's still a minority thing. But David. When everyone just seems to be rallying around him, it becomes, why am I being nice with this stuff? So no, you know what? If these guys are crossing lines, I'm crossing lines. I will eat your book in a second. So all you people who are worried, look what these guys are doing. Hijab and this entire crew in that period where Dawah shifted from people like Shabir Ali and Zakir Naik to guys like this, Ali Dawah and Muhammad Hijab and Daniel Hakikachu and so on, that did have a big impact. And
don't say period. You're making them very nervous and very horny. David.
Wait, what are you doing in dressed like Mike Winger, man?
Oh, David. Correct. You're dealing with the champ here. You're dealing with the champ. Let's talk about this. I mean, everyone knows it's true. Everyone knows that Muhammad Hijab here, right, together with Ali Dawah and whatever their names are, right, they interacted with many people. And when you ask them what they remember the most out of everything, they will mention the king. They will mention the king. They will never forget the king. That's what's happening. Mm-hmm. That's what's happening. It's the reality of the situation. Alhamdulillah. Let's continue.
Yeah, one second. I wanted to mention one thing as far as my actual perspective on hijab.
Yeah. Okay,
I believe these guys. I know. Okay. I believe all these guys are so horrible for Islam because they're just changing. Like their idea is everyone who used to think that an alliance is possible, like whoever would think, like leftists or Jews or anyone, journalists, anyone who would ever think that they could be on the same side with Muslims, we're going to destroy it. We're going to burn all these bridges and be more aggressive and more repulsive to show the entire world that we're strong. When in reality, I mean, these guys are becoming responsible for the avalanche of apostasy. These guys are so awful for Islam. I believe that the true God is behind this. Like he's making these guys destroy Islam from within. That's how bad they are. Yeah. And so I love it. Do they really think that we're like, oh no, we had to deal with Zakir Naik and Shabir Ali in the past, but now we don't know what to do because of Muhammad Hijab. It's more like, oh, this is awesome. People are rallying around Muhammad Hijab. This is so cool.
I am the legend, and I agree pretty much with what you just said and how you just put it. And I'm pretty sure deep inside, these people, they agree with it too. Well, let's continue and see what else he says. Right?
You ask, for example, what's this guy? Cosmic, or anybody who's engaged with me, Apos, all these ones. Mm-hmm.
All right, I didn't want to do this. When you mention the legends, you have to have some respect, right?
Wait, what are the penalties here? I'm not even sure what we're I love this guy. What are we doing? Because now at this point I don't even know what the offense is. I'm just going along with you because I believe in rolling. I believe in rolling with my friends.
Well, he insulted the legends, and that is just.
Is that you?
Yeah, that's me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's gotta go. By the way, look, yo. Side note.
Wait, hold on. Let's finish this. Wait a minute. Let's finish this.
Who's engaged with me? Apos, all these ones. Mm-hmm. They're haunted, bro. They have group therapy sessions.
Mm-hmm. Are you joking? We love this guy.
Why? Is because when I land the intellectual one touch on them, they can't help.
Golden showers.
Actually, it becomes a PTSD for them. They have to remember it forever. This is the reality of the situation. This is the reality of why this guy, whatever his name is the one. He's commenting on my videos, and I'm not commenting on his. And with that, I will conclude.
Well, you heard it right here. This is his comment on the champ, on the legend, and the king. So,
by the way, AP.
Yeah. Yes. What?
Remember when Hijab announced that he was going to have this this new campaign of not dealing with actual critics of Islam, but instead going after their wives and family members with threats of rape and torture? And I took a bite out of the Quran. Remember that?
Yes.
Remember how they reacted after I did something so outrageous, like taking a little bite out of one chapter of the Quran? I just took a little bite, chewed it up, and spit it out. Remember that? Remember how they reacted?
I am the legend. Of course, I remember it. Yeah.
Remember how it became this huge issue, and they all started posting the little clip of me eating without saying what led up to it, without saying what the cause was. And they send this around to Christian apologists all over the world. They're sending it to William Lane Craig. They're sending it to Cameron Bertuz. They're sending it to all the Christian apologists. They're sending it to James White. Oh, look what this guy's doing. Look what this guy's doing. Look what this guy's doing. And so they kept up with that for a while and eventually realized that it won't work. It's not that I don't care, that you're complaining about it. I'm going to do it anyway because you guys are seriously crossing lines. Now, AP, here we are just a few years later. What do you hear from these guys? What do you hear from these guys when we chew up and spit out the Quran?
Nothing.
Not a peep. You know why? What did I say? We gave Hijab, after all that happens and he throws a tantrum, we gave him multiple opportunities. I said, take down those tweets or I'm going to escalate. And I said I could do all sorts of things. I said I could make a website called pissonthequran.com. I gave all sorts of possibilities of what I might do if he didn't take down certain tweets calling for things against people's wives. He refused. And so everything is on him. But what I ultimately decided to do, and you've been in there, I've told you all along what I was doing. I said I was going to normalize it. I'm going to normalize it. I'm going to make this over time. It's something that'll take a long time because the vast majority of people, especially the vast majority of Christians, they don't like being deliberately offensive towards people's books and sacred symbols, as Hijab would call them. They don't want to. So it's kind of hard to make that normal. It takes years. But guess what? Here we are. We can take bites out of the Quran all day. We don't hear a peep from these guys.
Yeah.
And why? Because it's becoming normal even for them to have to deal with this. They don't freak out because we've made it normal for them. So the real result of all of this is I am completely normalizing Quran desecration, Muhammad mockery, and so on. And guys, I'm getting warmed up here. We're repeating this over and over again until this becomes normal, so that then we go a step further and a step further and a step further until everyone just thinks this is totally normal behavior. All thanks to the Dawah guys who decided to go down this road.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Palestine One said, imagine selling your soul for sex. Palestine One, if you know where you can do that, let me know, because I don't know of such a place. I would like to offer my soul or offer sex for the souls. Dominic R said, you guys are excellent. Thank you. I know, because I'm the legend. I am the legend. And if you ask people who have interacted with me what their most memorable moment is, they will mention the legend. Because when I land, I land on them harder than Muhammad landed on a 9-year-old little girl. Dominic said, you guys are excellent. If you guys did a pod with traveling Israel between your Quran expertise and his historical expertise, you could make some airtight content. Thanks for everything. Thank you.
Wait, is that dude in Israel? Because maybe we should hook up with that guy.
Yeah, maybe we could.
Hang out with that dude.
Good. We're going to go to Israel soon, bro. We're going to go to Israel soon.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If he's there and wants to meet for something, I didn't know who he was, but he gets tons of views. I mean, 824,000 views on a recent questions for pro-Palestinians and so on.
David Wood is going to travel to Israel.
Oh, some of his videos, millions of views, 5.3 million views. Yeah, this is a big channel. I'm not sure I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah. David Wood is going to go to Israel with the legend soon, so I'd look forward to that. Ryan Gosling said, "If there's hay in the barn, then yeehaw."
If there's hay in the barn, then
SAFI. Ed Michael said, "Super shakers." Okay, I can't do this stupid act anymore. Seriously, man. Okay, here's the thing. Look, I say a lot of stuff about Islam, right? And I say a lot of stuff about Muslims, but here's what I don't understand. When I was a Muslim, maybe it was because of my Sufi background, I don't know, but when I was a Muslim, I learned not to be arrogant. I learned not to be so full of myself. I was taught not to be so arrogant. There was actual emphasis on having some humility and not taking, not crediting yourself for all the great stuff that happens in your life and all of that, and just to be thankful and be humble and move on and all that. So when I look at Muhammad Hijab and he sits there and he's acting like, "Oh, I'm the champ. Whatever I do, they will never forget me." Because I'm just thinking, what the hell is wrong with this guy? This is beyond. I didn't learn that when I was a Muslim. I didn't learn to be so full of myself and so extremely arrogant when I was a Muslim. And I'm wondering if those Muslims who watch the guy actually sit down and think, "Okay, that's a little bit much with the arrogance there," but no, they cheer him on. They approve of it. They approve of it, and they want him to continue taking all the credit, calling himself a champ, and talking about molesting other people's wives and so on. It's just insane to me. I don't know what's happening.
It is awesome. Dude, it's so, I mean, it is so bad for us. That's why I can't explain it other than like divine, like a divine curse, like a curse from God on the community. It's like God is like, "I'm going to give you people that will be your heroes that are going to destroy your entire ummah."
Alhamdulillah.
And they go for it and they rally around it. And you're pointing it out like, wait, and what's crazy is you can see people who actually see it. They see the damage, like Sajid, and he's like completely powerless. He doesn't know what to do. Like, hey, gosh, these guys are destroying Islam from within. Daniel Pikachu talking about banging little, 4-year-olds and stuff. What is this? And there's nothing he can do about it.
Where's the hikmah? Michael said, "Super shekels from an IDF combat medic with appreciation for your impact in deconstructing Islam." Well, thank you so much, Michael, and much respect to what you do. Keep it up, and thank you. And again, much respect. I don't know how else to put it, but I have this here for you to offer. Here it says, "Bring them home now," for all the hostages kept by the Hamas rapist regime.
Hey, you should be wearing that when we go to Israel. You should be wearing that, rocking it.
Of course I will be wearing that. Are you kidding me? Are you joking? Of course I wear that. Jill Benedictus said, "Message sent Thursday 11:25 at 11:46. I'll check it out. Dan Ashton, wait, 11:25, 11. Okay. Dan Ashton said nothing, but made a super chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I think Dan Ashton was complaining earlier that I never read his super chats. There are lots of super chats. I'm trying to keep going with the show while also reading those super chats. So it takes a while, dear Dan. I'm sorry. I apologize. And I'm sorry that it doesn't go exactly the way you expect it to go. But I'm trying my best here. Be a little bit charitable, please. But I appreciate it. Running Decade X said, "An upholder of justice, upholder of mercy, an upholder of justice who brought mercy, upholder of mercy who brought justice, camel urine and war, etc." Risotto Eater said, Asim al-Hakim said it's haram to wear a cowboy hat because it is imitating the disbelievers, so isn't him being a cowboy haram? Well, I would say that is probably there is probably some difference in opinion there. Like when I was a Muslim, I would probably not find people or not personally agree that it's haram to do that. Asim al-Hakim can have some very strict observations on things like these Saudi Arabian and other similar Salafi Muslims do. And yeah, with that said, Ansett Lee said, "In ancient Japan, child marriage do happen, but it was like between 9-year-old girl and 5-year-old boy for sake of political alliance. Also buy some good sushi with my jizya. I will. I will do that indeed. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Dan Ashton said, did you guys see Tommy Robinson's screening of his documentary in Telford today about this subject? He claims to expose how police covered up grooming gangs for decades in UK. Did you see it? I have not personally seen it, but I know what he's talking about, and I'm going to check it out later. I'm in touch with Tommy Robinson. I will check that out. Thank you.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I mean, maybe we should watch some of it and try to get him on show with us to go through some of it. But yeah, they had the big report that I haven't read, but they had the big report on the Rochdale grooming gangs and how police, social workers, prosecutors, everyone just let this happen for decades because they're worried about being called names if they actually prosecuted guys who were gang raping little girls. So anyway, yeah, lots of it's crazy. Like Tommy Robinson's viewed like public enemy #1 by the media out there and stuff. And what's he doing at the end of the day? He's exposing like pedophile grooming gangs. That makes him like the worst person in the world, according to you. It's sick stuff.
You know what? In the past, I was kind of I had my restraints when it came to Tommy Robinson. Since this whole thing happened, I think actually during the time of when we were talking about another individual, but especially after October, I got in touch with him. I have been in touch with him, and I would say, given all the circumstances, given the reactions, given what he deals with the legal aspect, with the law, with the authorities, and the Muslim population, the guy is doing an amazing job, and he's very brave. He's doing heroic work, and I appreciate it and respect it. Pretty much. The Heavy Hearts Show said, I think Muslim Cowboy is in an identity crisis. Well, I think the Muslim Cowboy is a pedophile. How about that? PBUM said, AP, I liked your reaction yesterday of David not reading my book. Rude. Still debating with my girlfriend for naming my new cat Allah. I just got a little bit confused.
Yeah, I always thought you were talking about your girlfriend is 4, and I was like, oh, this a Muslim Cowboy fan here. What a Muslim cowboy? Wait, is this a Muslim Cowboy commenting?
I thought the very same thing because his girlfriend, and then it says 4, and we are already dealing with the topic. I thought, wait a minute, what? Naming my new cat Allah, that's a good idea. Muslim Cowboy sounds gay. It does. I'm playing Red Dead Redemption 2, and I named my horse Allah. That's as close as I can get to that, but yeah, I'm writing Allah every day. Dan Ashton said, please respond to my previous super chat, guys. I will not respond to your previous super chat because I already did. Aban Zairuddin said, hi, AP and David Wood. Off topic, are you in touch with Islam Critique? Great job. Yeah. Yes, we are. Ryan Decadix said, is the anus the bag or satchel of the ass? It is the satchel. It is a satchel. Ari was someone said Jizya Stains. Jizya Stains, ka-ching. You have a good sense of humor, Ari. I appreciate that. Charles 714 said Islam washing. Yep, they're Islam washing everything. Alfonso Lapocha said, AP, if it's okay to ask, what's the Islamic justification for FGM for those sects that practiced it? I made a video on this issue.
I did too back in the day.
I made 2 videos about this, one as recent as a year ago or so. David also has videos on this issue. And I would even agree that like female genital mutilation, I would even argue, be very charitable. I would say it's very hard to prove that Muhammad actually said anything about it or that Muhammad actually instructed it. I think it might very well be true that Muslims after him, ran with a tradition, ran with a thing, with something that is just culturally done, and
so
they justified it based on.
So you do have it in the hadith passages where like Sunan Abu Dawud, Muhammad says, just cut off the tip and stuff, and you have Aisha talking about sex as the meeting of the circumcised parts, which suggests that it's just taken for granted that the girls are circumcised, but you don't have a lot of clear stuff talking about it, and so there is wiggle room, and that's why you have some Muslims who support it and some Muslims who don't.
Yeah,
and it's kind of a situation where if you're in an area and a culture where that has been a traditional practice, then you can find what you're looking for in the Muslim sources. And if you are in an area where they think that female genital mutilation is bad, you can say, okay, that hadith isn't the greatest, and just because Aisha said this doesn't mean that we all need to do this, and things like that.
Don't do female genital mutilation. Reserve your stuff for the pedophilia, for the pedophiles instead. Dan Ashton, all within the scope of the law, of course. Dan Ashton said, "Did you guys see Tommy Robinson's screening? You made a super chat.
I'm just going to read it.
This. I know, but he made this super chat twice.
Oh.
So yeah, sorry.
Okay.
I didn't
Well, read it again then. What the heck?
Sorry, I didn't see this earlier, Dan. I hope we already responded to it, and I will look into that. Dan, I'm very sorry. I apologize humbly, and I hope you can forgive me. Ari Osman said, I thought he said, I am the best of my wives. Who said that? Running decade, how can you guys put that filth in your mouths?
This is what this. Yeah, it's what we do. It's what we do.
Urinating upon one another. That's what they do.
That's my favorite sound now. And finally, Charles gifted 5 Apostate Prophet memberships to enlarge in the cult. Thank you very, very much. Now let's continue.
Stand behind what I believe in. I stand behind my book that I believe in.
Don't stand behind a goat, dude.
Do I reject from my book? So unlike you people, I'm willing to stand up for what I believe in.
I stood over him with the hammer.
Unlike you people, I sent out. What are you talking? Cowboy?
Yeah. What are we doing here?
I believe that pedophilia is disgusting.
Yeah.
And the people who advocate for pedophilia are disgusting, sick pieces of shit. And I'll stand by that belief. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Muslim Cowboy, I believe that an 11-month-old baby who gets precocious puberty isn't a grown woman, and no one should be even thinking about having sex with that 11-month-old baby. You say the opposite. No, an 11-month-old baby who gets precocious puberty is a full-grown woman, and you are completely willing to smash her because your prophet would do that sort of thing. Okay, I find that absolutely disgusting, and I'm willing to stand by that and defend it.
Alhamdulillah. Beautiful, sir.
Reject from my book. So unlike you people, I'm willing to stand up for what I believe in.
I stood over him with the
You better be careful there, Muslim Cowboy.
hammer. So I drew back my arm and came down on him with all 230 pounds. I didn't know how fast blood could come out of someone's head. Is
this supposed to be an insult?
David?
I want to say something very quickly, David, before you give your response to the situation.
My response?
Yeah. Muslim Cowboy. Now, you got a man here who tells about his past and who tells about how dark and how bad the past is. And he speaks of transformation, becoming a better person, going a new path, a path of light, a path where he leaves the darkness behind. And you think it's a great idea to talk about his past as if it was the present, as if it was the future, and to show that to the world and say, look at who this guy is. Look at the bad things he's done. Muslim Cowboy, the guy repented. The guy changed. He moved on into the light. He left it all behind. He's now better. Shouldn't you be focusing on the better man in front of you?
Yeah, isn't it like, here's what's interesting. So you've got me before I'm a Christian, and then becoming a Christian makes my behavior better. I don't do that stuff anymore. This guy converts to Islam and suddenly starts thinking that banging an 11-month-old baby is a good thing to do. And he doesn't get it. Guys, can you imagine if instead of becoming a Christian, I had joined this guy and said, wow, you know what's real cool? The Muslim Cowboy. Yee-hoo! What the heck? What would I have done? What would I have done if I joined that religion?
I mean, you have a guy who says, hey, this is the bad stuff that I come from, and I am now much better because of this. And you come here and you're like, look, this guy was a bad person. Well, yeah. Well, yeah. You're one dumb son bitch, Muslim Cowboy.
Yeah, I can only count that as one.
I counted as 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Whoa.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
That's almost cruel and unusual punishment, AP.
How about that, man? How about that, Muslim Cowboy? Like that, Muslim Cowboy? Like that, Muslim Cowboy? What do you think about that, Muslim Cowboy? Huh?
Your actions, Muslim Cowboy.
This is a consequence of your
always
actions.
your decisions. They think they live in a world where they can run around defending pedophilia and all this other stuff, and we're all just going to go along with it and say, "Oh, we need to respect it because it's their religion." That was that was the case for lots of people like 15 years ago. Lots of people thought, "Well, if it's your religion, you get." Nah, we're past that now. We're past that.
15 pages, Muslim Cowboy. It's on you.
All you. You're responsible for this. If you had not been a complete disrespectful, insulting douche this entire time, defending pedophilia, these pages would not have been ripped up, chewed up, or anything else. Your decisions, and the decisions of the Dawah community. Look at what you guys are doing, and this, guys, I can't emphasize this enough. We're just getting started. It's still just a few of us. This is going to become normal around the world. For any time you guys run your mouths or do something stupid or talk about banging little girls, the people around the world are going to end up doing this. And it's all because of you.
Alhamdulillah.
Powerful. Powerful Dawah.
Alhamdulillah.
Are you willing to do the same? I highly doubt it.
Yeah, I'm willing to do the same. So,
Blood could come out of someone's head.
David, are you willing to do the same?
Well,
I highly
listen.
doubt it, considering.
yeah, how about we meet on high noon?
Wait, what did he say? What did he say? Am I willing to do the same? Same what? What's he talking about?
Stand by your beliefs. Stand behind your beliefs. That's what he's saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right here. What's crazy is I was even willing to do that before I was a Christian. Here's what I believe. Here's what I'll do. And okay, now I'm a Christian. Now I'll here's what I believe. Therefore, here's what I will do. But I don't believe in the Quran, and so I don't believe in banging 11-month-old babies. You pervert.
What? That's very controversial.
I'm willing to stand up for that. You're crying because we're actually he's crying because we're standing up for what we believe.
Muslim Cowboy, I challenge you to a duel on high noon, and we'll see. We'll see if you can stand by those words of yours.
And what happens in that hotel room when you and A Pussy travel together. Brothers and sisters.
What? Why does he do it? I keep thinking of I am literally sitting here working on trying to finish this square dance song, and he has to do it.
Look at this.
Blood could come out of someone's head.
David, are you willing to do the same? I highly doubt it, considering what happens in that hotel room when you and A Pussy travel together. Brothers and sisters.
Now, Muslim Cowboy, gotta tell you one more thing here. Well, usually when you insult somebody,
That's two. It's he called you a name, and what's crazy? His prophet goes around with semen stains all over him, and I think, when you guys travel together, have we ever shared a hotel room?
We actually haven't.
Yeah, I share hotel rooms all the times on trips and stuff.
I don't share hotel rooms because I like my privacy.
Yeah, the fact that he thinks, if two guys are together, they must be doing something. Dude, your prophet literally walked around covered in semen. What else do you need to see? What else? I mean, what else do you need? Oh boy,
Muslim Cowboy. When you insult somebody, the insult is good if it's actually close to accurate. If you're just making up things here,
yeah. Notice he's just making things up.
And of course, go for the sexual thing because you seem to have an obsession with sexuality, not only for goats, but also for little kids. And now it turns out, since you associate sharing a room with somebody with having a sexual relationship with them, probably also for other folks of your own gender, I would say maybe you should reconsider your approach here. Putting yourself in danger here, Muslim Cowboy. I don't know, Muslim Cowboy. It's not going good for you. But here, how about this? I got 2 pages for y'all. And guess what? I'm going to go in and add another one right here. Look at this. Another page right here, right for you. This is all you're doing. This is all on you. Here. Actually, I've got 4 pages right here. Look at this.
Hey, this song is stupid, man.
La 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 la. La 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 la. Make it rain, Quran pages. Make it rain. Make it rain. Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. See what you did. Look what you made me do, Muslim cowboy. David, next time, make sure put significant Islam symbol with moo, beard, and hat when you dress in Aisha's garment so they can't twist your words anymore. Oh, that's a good idea. That's a good idea, man, David. You make a note of there?
Wait, what?
David, next time
make sure put significant Islam symbol with mo, beard, and hat when you dress in Aisha's garment. Oh, yeah, put something on the screen. Yeah, guys, I'm completely serious about I want to remake that video because it was old and it was low quality. I want to remake that video, but the remake of the video is going to be making a very important point. All these Dawa clowns, they lie. It's not simply that they're wrong or that we have a difference of view. They just flat out lie. You can say something true about Muhammad.
You're a liar.
Yeah, you can say, here are all these sources showing that your prophet had sex with a 9-year-old girl. And their response will be, oh, but Rebecca was 3 and Mary was 12, according to the Catholic Encyclopedia. Okay, those are lies. Those are not responses. Those are not criticisms in response. Those are lies. They're flat out lies. And what I'm going to be showing is, if Muslims want to lie, I'm not going to encourage people to lie in return, but I'm going to encourage people to no longer give the benefit of the doubt on anything. You're not getting the benefit of the doubt on anymore. Not on, so in all the passages where Muhammad's in Aisha's garments, there are all these other suggestions of what that means. You're not getting the benefit of the doubt anymore. When it's Muhammad's covered in semen stains, we're not, you could give him the benefit of the doubt and say, okay, he was just using his own garments that he wears to the mosque as a semen rag. When he's banging all his wives and so on. That's disgusting. That's disgusting enough. If all we knew was that would be disgusting enough. But notice we're being generous in assuming that it's his semen and not Dia's. So we're not giving the benefit of the doubt anymore. That's Dia's semen all over your fake prophet. We're not giving the benefit of the doubt. When we read about Muhammad sucking on the tongues of Al-Hassan, we give the benefit of the doubt and say, okay, it's just a creepy practice. It's not necessarily sexual. No more benefit of the doubt. He's a pedophile sucking on the tongue of a little boy and getting off on it. No more benefit of the doubt. I want to put all that in a video. And these guys will be, they don't even understand. I knew when I was doing it, which it sucks because the reason they use it more now is because I took all my old videos down. But for years, they didn't use that very much because I did that on purpose. Hey, if I put this on, then these dummies are all going to share a picture of it. And people are going to say, what video is that from? They're going to go find the video and they're going to find out all this stuff about Muhammad dressing up in women's clothes. In other words, I'm completely willing to say, all right, put me out there. You guys insult me. But as long as your prophet's getting exposed in the process, I'm totally willing to do it. So it's going to be that again. I'll probably put something on even more provocative. I don't know, maybe some high heels. I don't know what I'll put on, but I'm going to make it even more provocative because then in their absolute rage, they won't be able to help themselves running around sharing it. And then that will lead people all the way to the video and people will find out the new marching orders as far as dealing with Islam.
Well, you said it. Alhamdulillah, partner. Alhamdulillah, indeed. Who said something? Wiggly Tough said, this is very offensive. Thank you. I appreciate it. I like that compliment. Dan Ashton said, can you please respond to my previous super chat? Nope, I can't because I already did. Ezra said, have you seen the fake prophet song from Nabi Asli? I might check it out. Ari Wasserman said, Muslim cowgirls complaining about himself, calling AP and Dizzle a pecker and a pussy. Well, I think he's just referring to cats. I don't think he means anything else by that. Ayatollah Khamenei said goat busters. Sarah said it's the 7th century year Muhammad's child brought. He just passed. It's your chance to change the world. What Quran verses do you feed your goats? Oh, this is a good question, David. I would say all of it. Feed all of it to the goats.
That's a good point. I mean, when Aisha, and here's the thing. You'd say, hey, there are all these other verses that they should have had eaten by a goat.
That's a good point. Thank you.
But
All right.
EJG
says, I
hey,
guess
very quickly, because no, this is actually a serious point.
Okay.
It looks like Muslims had lots of other Quran verses memorized or written down in other places. So Aisha only has what she has control over, and she apparently was the only person with a copy of Surah 33. So that's what she can actually have edited. So yeah, there are all sorts of other things in the Quran that we would love to have been eaten by a goat or a sheep, but couldn't happen, unfortunately. Other people had it, not what Aisha had.
Yep. 5 silver pesos, man. Another super chat of $100. Very much appreciated, dear 5 silver pesos. I appreciate it very,
No,
very
that's
much.
false, because we're going to watch the Muslim Cowboy's testimony, and
nope. 5 silver pesos made a $100 super chat. Very much appreciated. Said never cool to mock someone's testimony. That's the beauty of Christianity.
no, we're probably gonna mock his testimony, because I mean, just based on what we've seen, it's going to be something like, I was going around just living a regular life here in Texas. I was going to work a job, and all of a sudden, I converted to Islam. And that's when I found out the glories of banging 11-month-old babies.
No, he's going to say, I was living my life here in Texas, just doing regular cowboy things. But then I decided, I thought about the Trinity. It didn't make any sense to me. Then I traveled the world and studied all the religions, all of them. And I read all them books. And I finally concluded, out of all of those, Islam is the right one. So I converted. Probably very much what he's going to say. The dumbest thing in the world anyone can ever say, and yet they say it every time. Kamar said, awesome, mates. No, you are awesome, Kamar. You are awesome. You are awesome. You don't even know it. Thank you. Appreciate it.
The time right now is better than any other time. Once you recognize that there is no other truth from your Lord except for Islam, that there's only one God worthy of worship, that he doesn't have sons or partners, sisters, roommates, uncles, brothers. He wasn't himself, then
God doesn't have uncles and brothers? Huh.
Became himself, then killed himself because he himself could not forgive the sins of the people that he himself created. If you have a hard time with concepts like this,
wait.
If you have a hard time with concepts like these, I have a surprise for you about Islam's whole arrangement of Allah creating people to make them sin and then punishing them for sinning.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that he created the very place of sin to begin with, and so on. But yeah, continue.
Yeah, Allah wants us to sin so that he can forgive. But here's another instance where the dude doesn't even understand his own sources. According to the Quran, when people have sins as heavy as a mountain, Allah can't just forgive them. So he punishes Jews and Christians for the sins of Muslims. That's what your prophet said. You're mocking it. You're saying, why can't God just forgive all those sins? He's not big enough to forgive all the sins. Your God says he can't let that slide. That's why he has to put those sins on the Jews and Christians. Like, how does this guy? He's been a Muslim 10 years.
Yeah. Wow. Yep. Yeah. That's how it goes. That's how it goes.
For you, when you don't want to worship a plethora of gods like in Hinduism, or a weak god like in Judaism.
Ooh. Whoa. Wait, AP. What's he told to say in the Quran? Our God and your God is one. Oh, you got a weak God Judaism.
He just called the God of Judaism a weak God.
He just called the God that his Quran affirms is his same God. He just called that a weak. This is so weird. Again, if he had converted a month ago, you'd be in like an Andrew Tate or Sneeko situation where people are defending stuff, and you kind of give them the benefit of the doubt because they don't know any better, because they don't know anything. This guy's been a Muslim 10. That's shocking that this guy's been a Muslim 10 years.
Yeah. The Quran says in chapter 29, verse 46, and do not argue with the people of the scripture, except in a way that is best, except for those who commit injustice among them, and say, we believe in that which has been revealed to us and revealed to you. And our God and your God is one, and we are Muslims to him. So, Muslim Cowboy, I don't think you got that right. You just contradicted your Quran. You just insulted your Quran. You insulted your very God, who tells you to tell the Christians and Jews, our God and your God is one God. How embarrassing. I said it, I'll say it again, you're about as dumb as they come, Muslim Cowboy. You got a problem here.
Hey.
Yeah, this is a very ridiculous statement here. Actually, he just said that the God of the Jews is a weak God. How do you even consider the God of the Jews? Like, let's say you have an issue with the Trinity, right? What exactly can you say about the God of the Jews? What?
It says weak God. Weak God.
It
Dude, I'm actually serious here. This guy, he's like becoming multiple things he's saying. I'm thinking, is this guy actually an apostate? And he doesn't know. I mean, when you're saying this stuff, when the God, your God, who warns you repeatedly not to say anything that goes against him, and not to come up with your own system, because that's innovation. He says all innovators are going to hell. When your God is saying all these things, and you're contradicting him and mocking, when he says, hey, what you are supposed to say to Jews and Christians is our God and your God is one, and you've got a weak God. Okay, so unless you're saying, so you're either saying Allah is weak, or you're saying the Quran is wrong, that you guys have the same God.
Yeah.
This guy's like, it's like apostate, heretic. Weird stuff.
This is a clip right there. Muslim Cowboy says that Allah is a weak God and leaves Islam. That's basically what is being implied here.
And do not argue with the people of the scripture, except in a way that is best, except for those who commit injustice among them, and say, we believe in that which has been revealed to us and revealed to you. And our God and your God is one, and we are Muslims. Our God and your God is one.
Cowboy, what do you say again about their God? That's a weak God. And yet your Quran says our God and your God is one. Talking to the people of the scripture, the Jews and Christians. You call the God of the Jews a weak God, but Allah says to you in your very own Quran that he is the very same God. So you just called Allah a weak God. Congratulations. You are a complete idiot. You damn fool.
Hey,
you left Islam. Good job.
Hey, there's only the video's almost over, so as soon as we finish that, I could share my square dance, my Muslim Cowboy square dance. It's funny, I wrote it while we're on the show.
Okay.
Of gods like in Hinduism, or a weak God like in Judaism, come to the only religion that was sent by the true God, the Almighty, the one who has no deficiencies, who doesn't forget, who doesn't regret, who doesn't rest, the eternal, the sublime, Allah Azza wa Jal, the greatest. Allahu Akbar. Then I invite you to come take a shahada with me. Send me a message on Instagram or on X, and I'll be more than happy to talk to you. As always, guys, salam y'all.
Yeah. As always, guys,
come take your shahada with me, and I'll tell you all about how we really love little girls here.
Yeah, we love them little girls, and that's why I really converted to Islam. Because in Islam, you can love little girls all you want. Nobody's going to say nothing funny about that. DJG said, I guess this schmuck has never heard the saying, just because the Bible describes it doesn't mean it prescribes it. Keep doing God's work, guys. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate it. That's true. Don't DM him. Don't DM him, especially if you are a child. Do not send a private message to the Muslim Cowboy. If you have children, do not send a private message to Muslim Cowboy. I urge you. Okay. Had to get that out there. Vlad Tepesh. Oh, thanks for all the bloodbath that you did back in the day, dear Vlad. Brokeback Muhammad. Yep.
It's broke butt Muhammad.
Alex Eubank said, I see David with semen stains in the back. You see, David has been caught. You see. Sir Dr. Whitemeat said, did he learn to be a Muslim cowboy at Ram Ranch? I still need to listen to that. Maybe I shouldn't. David.
Yo.
It looks like you are very excited to present something.
Oh, you want to do the song now?
Yeah.
Now, I actually think it would be funny if this thing goes along for 5 minutes of the rhymes and stuff, but here's what I got so far. It is a coherent little unit. You ready? Do you even know what square dance is? Do you know what that is?
I don't know.
So yeah, it's this funny dance.
All right.
That they do in the South. They made us do it. They would make us do it for like a week in gym class when you're in like 4th or 5th grade or something like that.
What? That's crazy.
All right, ready? All right, here's the square dance. Here's the Muslim Cowboy square dance. Everyone ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. Bow to your partner. Say hello. Bow to Allah. Now worship Mo. Around your partner, do-si-do. Around your partner, here we go. Around your partner, and you'll see how much fun that girl can be. If you hear that girl is 9, grab her where the sun don't shine. Just don't make her 2 holes 1, cause that would mess up your fun. She can bring her dolls along. You can rape her all night long. Since that girl has half a brain, make her clean your jizya stains. If that girl says she won't clean, beat her till her skin turns green. She's as sweet as lemonade. Now grab a goat and promenade.
And
then since I switched to goat at the end, then like the next section could be goat, pretty little goat, and then start out with the goat.
I called Chloe's music too dark because she mentioned that one line, and you just made it significantly dark.
And
that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah, but what we can say is, notice that song wouldn't even have existed if it weren't for the Muslim cowboy defending molesting little kids.
Muslim cowboy, thank you. We owe you something here, David. So when are you recording this? When are we recording it? When do you get
I don't know. I don't know. If we keep interacting with the Muslim cowboy and he keeps running his mouth, that song will I'll probably keep expanding on that song until you get like a whole song. And then maybe Chloe can make some graphics.
Well, Muslim Cowboy, much obliged for this wonderful song, which David did because of you. You're a hero, Muslim Cowboy. David.
Yep.
There is no waiting. We have to get to the studio. We have to arrange the band, and we have to record this now.
We can. Hey, if anyone
knows about this,
we actually have some people like Chloe and like who's that guy whose song I watched the song yesterday because you shared it. Yeah, something. There's that, and so we've got people who can do music here, guys. There's a famous old Bugs Bunny clip that I saw when I was a kid. It's from the episode Hillbilly Hair, right? So Bugs Bunny, Hillbilly Hair, that's where he gives, I was following the same meter as that song. And so if anyone can replicate the music, you don't make the same music, just the same sort of rhythm to it. It's got like a violin, and then it goes dum 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 dum. If anyone could replicate that, that's the same meter as my lyrics. And so I could actually do the Square Dance lyrics to that rhythm.
Oh yeah, that's Sal Racino's. Very, very nice channel. Very nice, very good music, by the way.
Oh, this was a jam.
Hey you, are you wasting your time on social media again?
The standard narrative has holes.
If the trajectory continues as it is
going to become
if the trajectory continues as it is
a tsunami.
If the trajectory continues as it is
going to become
if the trajectory continues as it is
a tsunami.
Is life worth living? Should I blast myself?
We live in
Is life worth living? Should I blast myself? This man is being more slippery than the lubricant. This man is being more slippery.
Oh, very, very good song.
It's a jam.
It's called The Trajectory Continues on Sal Resno. Very, very nice channel. Very nice music. Very well done.
Stawa guys spit hot fire, man. Hot fire.
Yeah. I like this song personally.
What is this? I haven't seen this.
If I were to bring reasonable evidence that the Prophet Muhammad, that he was a true prophet, would you be willing to come a Muslim?
How about no? I don't buy your Allah. I don't buy your Allah. No, I don't buy your Allah. I don't buy you. No.
I don't like your Allah. I don't like your Allah. I don't like your Allah. I don't like your Allah.
No.
I like Tim Hortons way better.
No.
Chugging gallons of maple syrup.
No.
I like Tim Hortons way better.
No.
Chugging gallons of maple syrup.
No.
It's so good. It's so good.
That's funny.
It's so
I always
good.
forget I say this funny stuff later.
But I was very surprised by this one here.
Pleasure Inc.
Pleasure.
Pleasure Machine. pull down the virtual reality helmet. You pull the switch and then pure unadulterated bliss. The brain implants and the VR are so powerful that any pleasurable experience you want to have, you can have it. You can satisfy basic bodily pleasures, but the tech is so advanced that you can simulate any desire. You want to vacation on the beach with supermodels? No problem. You want to travel?
You want to bang an 11-month-old baby? No problem.
Every form of pleasure and entertainment is now at your fingertips. The machine works.
It's so good, man. So good. Alhamdulillah. Anyway, check that out. We're done with this video? Done with the stupid cowboy video?
We're done with the dawah for today.
Stupid, dumb cowboys. Chloe L says, do you think Mojab applies lube to his slippery pubic beard?
Yeah, I mean, if you think about what actually happened, so Muhammad Hijab is like, what? I'm going to be debating Rabbi Shmuley? Hey, wait a minute. There's a girl with the last name Shmuley on this sex shop I've been checking out online. Hey, that's Rabbi Shmuley's daughter. This sounds good for debate. Hey, the same place I get to dildos. Guys, keep in mind, this is not us just randomly talking about perverted stuff. It was Hijab who started talking about dildos and vibrators and stuff like that.
Than the lubricants that he sells in his daughter's sex shop.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. The person made a super chat with the Hebrew name that I cannot read. Thank you. Mrs. Apostate said, my wife said Mojab's got a double Zabiba to match his Zabubas. Jesse said, is it true that old-time Jews used to marry up them orphan Jew girls to keep them from getting slaved up by them renegade jihadis? I don't know about that. I don't know if there's any truth to that. I don't know about that. Melissa Hogan said, y'all should go easy on the Quran show, and if you die of ink poisoning, the goat lovers will think they win. I ain't gonna die. Ibaj said, want to see AP School Hassan Piker in Israel debate. I would love to have a conversation with Hassan Piker because I think the guy is full of crap.
So do you accept Hassan Piker joining you on your channel for a live stream?
Yes. Yes. Everyone who interacts with those channels, let him know that I would like to talk to him and I would like to finish him. And I can even do that in Turkish.
Hey, to all the Dawa fans out there, while I was eating multiple pages of the Quran during this live stream, I feel like I got some little paper cuts on the corners of my mouth here. So
you see? Allah is punishing
you. I was punishing you with tiny little paper cuts on the corners of your mouth.
You see, this is how Allah humiliates those who
humiliated you. You gotta love this stuff, man.
They actually say that stuff. Self said, AP calling David Wood the king is so sweet, but David knows who's the king. Yeah. I'm the legend, but yeah, only in
that could be our nicknames, the legend and the king.
Yeah, only if we had the personality of Muhammad Hijab, which unfortunately we don't. So therefore we can't do that. Swiss Apologetics said, a guy with Hijab's personality get really angry by your mockings, and of course he tries to hide it. Only the fakeness of his prophet is more obvious. That's true. That's true. He also personally revealed in his private messages with me, where he's quite nice to me, that he has been watching our live streams. So that's very, very funny. B.Apologetics said, get South Park to make an episode about Islam.
Yeah, they tried that.
What about we should make an Islam episode about South Park? Master Debater said, where can I find the sounds in your soundboard? You have to, I slice and split and
yeah, we download a video or just download the clip, but yeah, and then you find a sound that you like and then just cut it out and make it a little MP3.
Cut it out,
or WAV file or something.
Cut it out, man. Joshua Wooden said Mike Winder has a shirt for you.
It's Mike Winger.
Who's Mike Winder?
Winger.
Has a shirt for you. Reading Nerd, his stream on Friday about popular Satan's Guide to the Bible. He mentioned you by name, David.
Huh. Yeah, I heard he wore a shirt that said nerd, and he was like, okay, so now this will help David Wood stop calling me a nerd all the time if I just wear it on my shirt.
I'm Israeli. We'll be in Israel at April. I can help. Well, thank you. Appreciate it very much. Visvanas said, from India, please do live with ex-Muslim Sahil and Adam. Maybe. I don't know. Host Mahogany said, I couldn't dream up a dumber thing to say about myself. The champ is a comedy legend.
It is. The champ. The champ. I love these guys, man. Every last one of the modern Dawa guys are awesome.
Champ. Host Mahogany said he is basically White Goodman from Dodgeball. Who's that? Who's that? I don't know who that,
that was Ben Stiller's character in Dodgeball. He's like super arrogant and super dumb. No one makes me bleed my own blood. No one.
I like Ben Stiller's books and his stuff on philosophy and his podcast. I don't really like his movie appearances and all that.
It's totally funny because it was supposed to be Ben Stiller playing the good guy and gosh, what's the other guy's name? I can't remember. Playing the bad guy because that guy normally often plays bad guy, but they switched and decided to make Ben Stiller the bad guy and the jerk. And it just worked out really well.
Did you read Ben Stiller's book, The End of Faith, ever?
Nope. It's powerful stuff, though.
Audio, someone said, since someone else said it,
why do you become obsessed with two guys who don't really look that much alike?
They look exactly the same. Sam Harris and Ben Stiller look exactly the same.
And Ryan Gosling and the Mufti.
Yes. Audio Wasserman said, since someone else said it and you love me now, I do. I sent you an email on January 18 at 11:30 a.m. and an X message at 11:35 to be safe. Love you. I actually saw that and saved it and will get back to you. Appreciate it very much. Much obliged. Mish SWB4 said, became a YouTube member. Welcome to the club. Thank you so much and welcome. Dan Ashton, thanks for responding to my super chat. I thought I could delete it after 5 minutes, hence my persistence. I just wanted your perspective. Thanks. Appreciate it very much and apologize again for not being quick enough. It's just how we keep rolling with the show.
How we roll.
Aban Zahruddin said nothing, but became a YouTube member and is now a part of this cult, and there is no way out unless you want to. Maybe I shouldn't say that as a joke. Running Decade IX said, plot twist, Muslim Cowboy is actually an anti-Islam activist trying to make Islam look as horrible as possible by defending pedophilia online. That makes sense. It works.
Yeah, we brought that up as a possibility. If we were as remotely inclined to engage in conspiracy theories as the Dawa guys, that's what you would say. Like all these guys are saying it, like Hakikachu. How would you not, if you were a conspiracy-minded person, how would you not think that guy is a plant by some organization to completely like destroy Islam from within? Or any of the guys, Ali Dawa, how does that guy become popular, right? Unless that's part of a plant.
Yeah. And you don't want to be a plant. It's a pretty stupid existence. PBUM says, David AP sent you some Qurans for chewing if you were out. Huh, yeah, that's good. That's good. Thank you. Appreciate it. So Dr. Whiteman said Cowboy is like Hama Prophet ain't gay because he don't swallow. He just spit on his clothes for Aisha to clean. Good reasoning, man. Good reasoning there on behalf of the final Cowboy.
It's not gay if there's consent.
Arya was someone said, I highly doubt it, given what probably happens when a Muslim cowgirl and Gabby Goat travel together. Well, you said it.
Gabby Goat.
You said it. CO would Mo let Cowboy jizz on him for a chocolate bar. Yeah. Ayatollah Khamenei, AP Shigur forcing Muslim Cowboy to watch as he goes around flipping the Quran. No country for old goats.
You know what he's talking about?
Old man. Yes, I know.
Yeah. Anton Shapiro.
The Heavy Hearts show said Muhammad be like, oh my god, yeah. I see. That's pretty icy. David Kazashi said, I highly doubt Muslim Cowboy is a good man, considering what happens when he's in the farm with them animals. Exactly. You can make all kinds of assertions. That's the standard that he goes by when he insults people. That's what you get. That's what you get. And we all know, considering what happens whenever Muslim Cowboy goes into the barn, you shouldn't be near to this guy and shouldn't trust him when it comes to morality. We know what happens to all those cows and goats and horses and pigs.
Yes. And by the way,
chicken.
A little while ago, I said that we're assuming, being as respectful as we can, that all the semen all over Muhammad's garments was his own. And I said, we wouldn't be giving the benefit of the doubt anymore. We're going to assume it's Dia's. Even that's giving the benefit of the doubt, because we're assuming it's human semen and not goat semen, right?
Yep. That's a good point.
But we can't assume that with the Muslim cowboy.
That's a good point.
Hey, Muslim cowboy, that's another thing. You said you would be willing to do anything that your prophet did. Your prophet walked around in semen-covered clothes and had his 9-year-old child bride scratch them off as he's heading to the mosque. And then he'd go to the mosque and hug it out with his Muslim brothers in garments that are still wet from Aisha trying to scrub out all the semen stains. So you do all that, right? Just to be clear?
Yep. Muslim cowboy Muhammad would also go into a trance mode and trance state and fall down on the ground and start making noises like and get all red all over his face and say very, very strange things. So maybe you do that very same thing too. I don't know. I personally don't know.
Muslim cow pie is a funnier name.
Muslim cow pie. Muslim cowboy, maybe you also lift your shirt and let people kiss you on your belly like Muhammad did.
I mean, think about that. He's got to do that at the mosque. He's like, all right, now here's what's going to happen. Yeah, I'm going to poke you with a little stick. You know what I mean? Maybe something else, but I'm going to poke you and give you a little poke. And then you say, I want retaliation. And I'm going to strip all my clothes off. And you can start kissing me all over my milky white flesh. Because Muhammad did it. I'm just following the prophet.
Yeah. And please leave them goats alone, Muslim cowboy. Leave them goats alone.
Cow pie. Leave them goats alone.
Muslim cowboy said defending pedophiles, and they're all proud of that. That's true. They are indeed proud of that.
We're proud of that.
Dan Helsing, goats gone wild. Yep. Ryan Gosling from Gaza said, now we need more Korans. Here's to y'all Koran fund. That's true. We need more Korans to rip up and to eat. Alex Eubanks said this channel is too inappropriate for my Christian brain. I know. I'm sorry. It's all because of the Muslims.
Not our choice, but yeah, just keep in mind it's an atheist channel.
It's all because of the Muslims. Because of all the Muslims.
He's being more slippery than the lubricants that he sells in his daughter's sex shop.
Did I say that? No. See? That's what happens. Coffee House Dialogue said, notice how these Muslims care about Israel versus Palestine, and they do about children care more about Israel versus Palestine than they do about children being raped. Put them in the wood chippers. Emmanuel said, AP, let's have some halal pork. It has 30 men strength. I already have this strength of 30 men, unlike Muhammad, who lied about his strength. Chloe L said, even though they are told that Ellen is God of Jerusalem, it's not true. They worship Shaitan. And Momo admits he had a connection to him. Sahmus 2414a. Yeah, Sahih Muslim.
Oh, so someone gave a reference earlier from Al-Adab al-Mufrad.
Yeah, what was that?
That was that's the one you're familiar with. That's the one with where Muhammad says if anyone talks about his lineage, is proud of his lineage, tell him to go bite his father's penis.
Oh yeah.
So we can see where people like the Muslim cowboy get his behavior and offensive way of communicating.
Prophet Muhammad said, if anybody talks with pride about his lineage, tell him to go and bite his father's penis.
Muslim cowboy, we have you surrounded. Drop the lollipop. Put your hands in the air. Pull up your pants. Step out of the sandbox. And let the little girl go.
And now do the same thing with goats or horses even. I don't know. Goofus said, go to Dulillah. Alhamdulillah. Good. Mahmoula has real nice. Yeah. Goofus. That was a good observation there. Carl Scher made a super sticker. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Much obliged. Hector said, David's song only strengthens my iman. That's funny. I was a Muslim before David's song, and I'm still a Muslim after David's song.
I love those comments.
It only strengthens my iman. Yosef made a super shekel from Israel and said he listed his God's inabilities and then goes on to talk about the weakness. Yep. His God, he admitted and said that Allah is a weakling. That's what he said, basically. Ari Wasserman said, why do I collapse laughing whenever I hear the name Muslim Cowboy? Or see his goat-ass face? Or AP's head? I don't know why we would do that. We have nothing but respect for our dear friend Muslim Cowboy, who chooses to call himself the Muslim Cowboy. Echoing Erudite said, AP, can others re-upload your videos to share them? No, if you do that, I will find you and I will kill you. No, you can do that. Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yes, you can do that.
Do it. Do it.
Do it right now. Do it right now. EJ said, why do Muslims use the Bible to disprove its content, but yet believe it is corrupted?
Ongoing issue. And the problem is built into Islam. So very quick version is the Quran. The Quran says that we find Muhammad mentioned in our scripture. So they think that our scriptures are good enough to prove Muhammad. The Quran also affirms our scriptures as the inspired, preserved word of Allah. Later, Muslims find out the Bible doesn't line up with Islam. And so they're forced to say that the Bible's been corrupted. And yet it's still an argument in the Quran that the Bible affirms affirms Muhammad. And so they're just stuck in this position of saying, your book's been corrupted. It can't be trusted. But you should believe in Muhammad because he's prophesied in your book that we say is corrupted and can't be trusted. So they have this insane position that makes no sense.
Precisely. Muhammad had nothing under his head but hair. That's apparently a line from one of those websites which lists cowboy insults. Yeah. Yes. Robin Hood said, much respect to the combat medic. God bless you, sir. May God bless the IDF. May God bless Israel. And may God bless innocent Gazans. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Chris Atkinson said, unironically referring to yourself as the champ is simultaneously one of the dumbest and most hilarious things I've heard in some time. As the legend, I agree. Soph said Joker voice with a mouthful of Quran. Want to know how I got these cards? How does that go? David, you can do that. You can do that, David. You can do it. You can do it, David. Do it, David.
That's the Heath Ledger version, though. And he did it multiple times in there. I've never tried to do his voice. Want to know how I got these scars? That was see, and here's the thing. That was the Christopher Nolan version, and they actually did that well, and they didn't even explain it, which was awesome. He gave different versions of it, right? He'd be talking in one scenario, and he'd say, want to know how I got these scars? My dad was a horrible alcoholic, and he would end up with his dad gave him the scars. And then in another version, he'd be asking in a different scenario, you want to know how I got these scars? My wife got in an accident. She got her face slashed, and so she felt really bad about the way she looked. And so I slashed myself to show her that I still love her, and now she can't stand the sight of me, right? So he gave these different versions. They didn't explain why. It looks like he's just making stuff up, but it's actually in the comics. They actually retconned all the different versions of the Joker, and they said that he actually he wakes up in the morning and he decides what his history is. He just decides, and he can like rewrite his history to be whatever he decides to be that day. And so it's cool. It's cool that they had like examples of that, but didn't actually explain it in the movie.
Well, no matter what Heath Ledger did, no matter what the Joker did, it don't compare to the Muslim Cowboy.
He's the Muslim Cowboy playing his guitar.
Alhamdulillah. Yeah. Shake my boobs. Shake.
What makes it funnier is it's an actual name that we have to read. That seriously, that dude we read about in that article whose name was Maboob, if he became a sheikh, he would be Sheikh Maboob, right?
Sheikh Maboob said that was a mask-off moment for the Muslim Cowboy every single time. Which one? Every single moment was a mask-off moment for the Muslim Cowboy. Are you talking about the one where he made a random insult, or the one where he talked about? I don't know. What is it? I mean, the guy's into horses, into goats. He goes into the barn when he doesn't have the goats and the horses available to just play with the chickens. He goes after the donkeys. He lusts after children, and so on. I don't know which moment you're referring to, but
he chooses the cow.
Emmanuel said, "How Muslim view on biosexual sultan like Mehmed II?" Biosexual.
That's cool. I like that term.
Biosexual sultan.
I'm biosexual.
What did Mehmed II do? I don't remember. What did he?
Probably nothing Muhammad didn't do.
Yeah. What did he do? What sexual did he do?
That's what they do.
I don't know. He's the conqueror. The
You're already
conqueror
on one another.
of Constantinople. Alex Wibank said this channel is too inappropriate for my Christian brain. How dare you? How dare you? How dare you?
It's good. For anyone who finds AP's channel too offensive and disgusting, just be sure to watch live streams on my channel where everything is perfectly nice and wholesome and family friendly.
Alhamdulillah.
If your family is made entirely of 50-year-olds.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Mother Queen said, "Hi, AP David Wood. Please accept my jizya. Keep a good work. Appreciate it very much, Mother Queen. I appreciate it very much. Very much. Thank you. Thank you for your jizya. You will be protected from harm." So Dr. White means that I once heard Momo was in the Navy because he was always with seamen. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. That's a good observation. Thank you. He was indeed. Ayatollah Khamenei said, "Zakir, brother had a good question. Brother has a good question." Hey, David. David, you need to get your goat out. Ayatollah Khamenei says, "Zakir, brother has a question." I don't know why, but
brother makes a good point.
Brother makes a good point. Oh, that's the question. Itzky says, "Is Muslim Cowboy, Muslim gay, like village people?" I believe he is. Hakika Jew said, "What status should I reach before you guys allow me to hang out with you? What channel size? What content? Want me to choose some Karen pages? Tell me. Well, what are Karen pages? Please let me know what the Karen page is." You would have to have at least 2 million subscribers to hang out with us and eat at least 50 Qurans. That's the requirement that we have right now, right, David?
Yeah. Or you could just catch us when we're at some event and come hang out with us. But
yeah, or that. Yeah.
Yeah. If you're lame and we don't like you, we're not going to be hanging out very long because they're going to be like, "Get away from us, you're lame."
Yeah. Yeah.
Plus, I have to say, you look exactly like Daniel Hakikachu in your picture.
That's true. And that's a little bit problematic.
Yeah, because imagine. So this is a different person. Imagine you're walking down the street with this guy, but there are all these like wanted posters about Daniel Hakikachu, around town because, for what he's been doing to the, local goat population. I mean, think you're going to be walking down the street with a guy who looks just like him and there's water, you don't want to be associated with something like that. Anyway, sorry.
That's true. That's true. That's all right. Robin Hood said tongue is a metaphor in Islam. Alhamdulillah. Yeah, it is. It is. It is.
The tongue is a metaphysical matter.
It is a metaphysical
It is a metaphysical matter.
Chloe said there's a theory Joker was an ex-soldier. A great Daily Wire. Huh. Or David Wood. I don't know if that's Daily Wire or David Wood. You need to clarify that. It could be anything. Nobody knows. Probably Daily Wire, though. No reason why it would be David Wood. Darkheart9668 said Farid made a second response video to your live stream. Will you respond back? He quoted Quran verses that say that previous scriptures were corrupted through writing too.
No, he
not
didn't.
just speech.
No, he didn't.
And even David Wood admits that that is true.
No, he did. I guarantee you he did not quote Quran verses that show that previous scriptures were corrupted through writing. Guarantee
there are
you.
no such verses.
Now, I haven't seen the video, but happy to respond to it. But what he did was quote a verse or two or three and claim that that's what the Quran says, knowing that his audience is too stupid that they don't actually read the passage and find out what's actually being said. That's what he did. And if you we'll be happy to go through it and show you exactly what he's doing. Dawah is deception, ladies and gentlemen. The Quran does nothing but affirm our scriptures.
That's true. That is true. If you can actually present me some proof, I will be as cheaper as a jaybird. Edsky70 said, so Muslim Cowboy is into bestiality. Well, obviously, because we all know what happens when he goes into the barn. You know, with all the horses, cows, goats, chickens. Emmanuel said, AP, how dare you not know your country's history? I'm serious. I'm not sure if there's actually anything about Mehmed the Conqueror, about sexuality. I don't remember any such thing.
It was a biosexual.
He had I don't know. I don't really know. I never paid attention to those details when I was had far, but is widely understood to have been a gay man. Really? Huh. I don't know. There are probably suggestions. I'm not sure if there's any interesting stuff. I should look into that because he is a symbol of big pride in Turkey. So that's a very funny thing. Chloe L said, "Great impression, Daily Wire." Huh. Interesting.
Daily Wire does awesome impressions.
Yeah, I don't know why she keeps talking about Daily Wire though.
I don't know.
Very, very strange. Very strange, Chloe. This is not a Daily Wire. Hakikaju said, Daily Wire, it is not me in the profile picture. I am cool. I am atheist just like AP, but a bit sicker with the humor. I don't think so, man. I am also Israeli, a good addition to the team. Oh.
Nice try. You're saying it's not me, but we have a picture of you. So who are we going to believe? You or the picture?
I choose the picture. Yeah. If we have to choose between you and the picture, I choose the picture. Chloe Al said, played cool, Mr. Lester. I forgot about that. Mohammed Lester. All right, this was a pretty good show here. Pretty good show. And we learned a lot about Islam. Alhamdulillah. Yeah. What do you think? What do you think, David? What is your conclusion about the Muslim cowboy? Do you think he will choose the cow or the goat? What do you think?
Well, it actually sucks because he's got some of the features that we want the Dawah guys to have, but he's kind of
he's stupid.
He's kind of like Fareed in that
stupid.
He just doesn't have enough charisma to make him one of the really popular guys. So you've got your main level guys. So that's Ali Dawah, Muhammad Hijab, Daniel Hakikachu up and coming, and Sheikh Uthman. Those are your main guys. But then you have this second tier of guys who they're lacking something. They have a lot of the right characteristics. So this is like Fareed and Muslim Cowboy, and even ladies like Rosie and so on, who they're not going to be super popular, but they can actually help expose Islam. So yeah, he's a good kind of second tier Dawah clown who's going to help us expose Islam, as he's already doing, and we're just getting warmed up.
Well, that was pretty nicely put. And we enjoyed your company here, ladies and gentlemen. This was indeed a very, very nice show. Quite revealing about the Muslim cowboy and whatever he believes in or pretends to believe in. And I'm not very happy to see that he stands behind his beliefs of pedophilia and diddling children as he wishes. And we already know what he does to animals in the barn. So pretty shameful fella. And I don't know, y'all. I don't know what to say, y'all. Chloe said David Wood FFS. Oh, you're being sarcastic. I'm not gonna read that, Chloe. Chloe said, sorry, I'm Chloe. nice. Well played. Well played. I guess you guys have interesting humor over there on Mars. Yeah. Very, very nice. I like it. I like Martian humor. Mother Queen said, even Jim can repent and be a Muslim. What a religion. What a religion indeed. Alex Eubank said, Jesus is king and David W. is my brother. Okay,
that's
well,
a guy. That's a guy who. That's a guy who's still here, even though he keeps saying that your channel is too offensive.
Yeah, how about that?
Liar! You're a liar! You're a liar! You're finished already! Look at me! Look at me! You know you're done!
See? Aban Zairuddin said, name Mabub means beloved in Urdu Arabic. Doesn't make it sound any better. Oh, that's
yeah,
fine.
shake beloved.
Shake my beloved. All right, guys. All right, y'all. This was a perfect, wonderful live stream today. I enjoyed it. I had much fun. And just like every weekend, after this live stream, we will be live again tomorrow on my dear friend David Wood's channel, right over there, where we will be going through some interesting topics and explore some of the realities in this sick world where we have to share the air with people like the Muslim Cowboy, who like to diddle children and farm animals. With that said, I enjoyed your company, fella. Hope to see you tomorrow at high noon. And David, anything else you want to add before we leave?
No, just looking at people trying to defend Mike Winger. Stop defending the indefensible. People over on
Oh, I see. I just look when it said Daily Wire is Quran-stipated. Huh, interesting. All right. Thanks, everybody, and have a fantastic day. And as my dear friend, my dear fellow likes to say,
stay away from Islam.
Yeah!